AKM Race. On screen we have Ian Egan in his SOP McLaren, customised by Black Gold. So there we go, lovely Irish flag. And yep, he is getting an awful lot of screen time. That's because he's an absolute legend that just fixed a year and a half of heartache for me by giving me some decent wheel settings. So he's getting lots of camera time tonight. He'll definitely be one to watch, though. He is down in 15th at the minute. Let's jump on board, though, and see if we can indeed get the rest of the field connected. Yes, they are all in, and it is Hubert Szymanski who is in pole position
actually,
at the
John,
moment. Sorry, Simon, on you go.
Someone to watch. He was the winner of the 2 hours of Spa in the British GT Championship. Lee King McGee is currently in P5 for qualifying. He is really one to watch around Spa. He's very, very quick indeed. And well, he's coming out in the Aston this time, and hopefully he's going to be able to find himself on the podium. There's nothing really to separate any of these guys in the top 10, so it's going to be very interesting indeed.
Yeah, it really is, and I just remembered I forgot to switch the virtual mirror off, but the rest of that does look fairly pretty indeed. But yes, Kingy McGee. It was actually foretold in the chat, Simon. That's how I remember it so well. One of Kingy McGee, I believe it was his dad perhaps, was in the chat at the time. And we were giving the big licks to all the drivers in the chat, and it was foretold. He said, do not count Lee out around Spa. And he went on to win the race. So he certainly has got pedigree here on SOP Shores for winning around this very course. And you've got to say, Simon, beautiful, sunny day with a 26-degree track temperature. That is some ideal conditions for some driving here.
Yeah, I mean, the drivers have been lucky so far with the weather because it is set to variable change. Obviously, we can see some clouds appearing, but there's nothing too much to worry about right now. Obviously, 100 minutes. I'm hoping we do have some rain because it'll put the cat amongst the pigeons come pit stop strategies. And obviously, yeah, it might cause some few upsets.
Broken a sweat today, rain dancing. So hope the gods answer. Right, we need to get this checked. Go to somebody, please message Omar Moe and Jordan Sones and ask them if I can have their livery. I don't understand why Omar's isn't working. But anyway, Omar Moe is racing this evening. Let's have a quick rundown. We've got Lance Taylor joining us. He is currently hidden by the Greenpoint 420 car. And it's Andy Kingy McGee, of course, in the AKM Racing livery. With us this week, a reserve, Huckabee Brown. He is an AKM racer as well, and so is Pete Jeffrey. So LNR out, AKM in by the look of it. Andrew Purcell's joining us this evening, and so is Johnny Marsh in a Fitted UK livery. There's Philip Beeston with some absolutely cracking advice on the side of his car. Come on, head up, keep your focus further down the track. There we go. George Bratzos then, right in front of him. There we go. He is racing as well. So is Oscar Saristo. There we go, another SOP driver in the Datsun Sunny looking all pimped out. There's Michael Hutchison as well as Chris Andriakopoulos. Then it is Gergi Kunsabo in the Honda. Then my favourite person at the moment, and for all time, Ian Egan. He is in a McLaren. There's Sam Sue, pineapple livery extraordinaire, driving in the Porsche on his home track. Then it is Dimitrios Amoxopoulos. He is another one driving an Aston Martin, very popular car here indeed. Stefan Van Halen, another SOP driver, joining us this evening. And then there is Ryan 360 Renoir, living up to the nickname I just this second gave him. Lucas Ziga, as we mentioned before, there we go. Boom, he is just testing that those safety barriers are indeed safe, and given they stayed intact after that massive impact, I'd say the pass. There's Alistair Clinch tucked in behind. He was obscuring the car a minute ago. He's in the Greenpoint 420 livery, which we're not getting a better view of at the moment. Then is AJ to the P. He is snuck up to 9th at the minute. We've got Giannis Sakinis joining us for the first time this evening. Another reserve. Let's see if he gets on inside the top 10 at the moment, with Jimmy Holm joining us as well. Musa Masum, Lee Kingy McGee and Jordan Sones also making appearances this evening. The top 3 at the moment, though, it is Samir Foch still on track, looking to improve on his time, with Hubert Szymanski and Black Championship leading Gold Saw, sitting atop the timing board. Let's jump on board with Samir Fosh then and see if he can get himself a better position. Coming in to the last section now, Simon, he needs at least 3/10 to get himself an improved position, but even if it stays as is, that is quite an front row of the grid. Is Simon still there? Nope, he's run off. So we'll watch Sir Fosh then come into the final chicane. He will be one of the last drivers to set a lap, certainly quick enough to trouble the front two. 2 minutes 16 seconds from Black Gold Saw.
I'll take myself off mute.
Yes, if you take yourself off mute, it definitely helps. Samir Fosh doesn't go any quicker than Simon. But yeah, front row of the grid looking very, very, very tasty indeed.
Yeah, well, his roles reversed from series to series. Szymanski is ahead of Fosh for the start of this one, but obviously at the head of the field. A 2:16.386 for Black Gold Saw, sitting in P1 as he has done all series so far. Yeah, we're going to see a fantastic start. Jordan is obviously well known and very fast indeed, starting from P4, and he's in the Audi, so that is going to be a beast coming down the straight after Eau Rouge. Masoon there in 5th. He hasn't really featured so far in this series, but he slotted himself into 5th for this one ahead of Lee King McGee, so that's a brilliant qualifying performance from him, with Home to Sackness and Phillips and Clinch rounding out the top 10. Porsche's once again struggling, so 11th, 12th and 15th for Ziga, Renoir and Sam Su.
Yes, indeed. Sorry, I lost track of what I was doing there as I was moving down the order there. Trying to get a few more guys on camera. That is the top 15. Of course, yes, Ian Egan. He is in 16th position. Gergi Kuncevo in 17th. Andrea Coblis in 18th. Hutchison 19th. And Oscar Saristo down in 20th. That will not be the case come the end of the race. I will put money on that. We've got Bradsaw's Beeston, Mars, Purcell, Jeffrey, Brown, McGee, Taylor and Moe making up 20 through 29. We do, Simon, this evening have a pit stop as bar.
Well, it's very easy to get a drive-through penalty or a stop-and-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Obviously, it's the longest pit lane in history. And
I believe they serve tea and sausage rolls.
Minute in 1st and 3rd. Hopefully there's no
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Wednesday night, especially, of course, good evening to Floppy Fox, Vargas Sim Racing, and Dr. Nailbender already in the chat saying hello and hosting the stream. It's Wednesday night, it's SOP night, it's the SOP Motorsport GT Challenge Sprint Series, sponsored by IMB Raceware. It's round 4. We all know what that means. It's Spa. Joining me this evening will be Simon, head of SOP. Not sure if he's there quite at the moment. Are you there, Simon?
I am here now,
Yes.
John. Yes, thank you for the introduction. How are you tonight?
Yes, I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, really well. Looking forward to Spa tonight, round 4 of the, like I said, IMB Raceway sponsored championship, and we're in for a special one. Obviously, Goldsour's won the opening 3 rounds, but he's not on pole position currently as Szymanski leads the way with the 2:16.8, so it's going to be a good one.
It is indeed going to be a good one. As you mentioned, the IMB GT Challenge. We need to get the spelling correction on that. Still says in there. This is round 4. So we've been to Kyalami, Imola and Suzuka. There's only been one man on the top step of the podium. 9 podium steps have been available. Only 5 people have taken the opportunity so far. And Black Goldsaw is the man that has been on the top step for all 3. We've still got Laguna Seca, Silverstone and Bathurst to come, and here is what the drivers are vying for. This is what third place in the championship will receive. It is a limited edition custom IMB Raceware SOP Motorsports t-shirt. You get your flag, you get your name, and of course all logos on there. That's the bronze jersey, there is the silver jersey, and there is Black Goldsaw's jersey. I mean gold winners jersey. We are,
yeah, not far wrong. He's now got 2 fingers on that jersey rather than just the pinky.
Rather than just the pinky. Yes, he does. This will take us past the halfway mark. It's going to be fascinating. But it is Spa. If you want to talk about rain being the great leveller, well, ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the pinnacle of modern motorsport. Belgian biscuits at the ready. Get that cup of tea or coffee to get Duncan. It is, of course, Spa, Eau Rouge, Radion, the Camel Straight. Just endless. Oh, look at that beautiful livery. We're going to see plenty of that tonight. That's Ian Egan. But it is Spa tonight for round 4. And as we mentioned in the championship, it is the Black Goldsaw show. As you can see, the top of his name, not only has it got gold in his name, but it's gold in his record. Kyalami, Imola, Suzuka. First, 261 points. A near 50-point lead to Alex Phillips. 50-point lead second place. He's been on the podium twice himself. Second place. Hubert Szymanski, as we can see there, he is in third. Never been on the podium yet with a 4th and 9th and a 4th, whereas Jordan Soanes, he has been on the podium twice, no less. Finds himself in 4th in the championship. Jimmy Holm, Lucas Ziga there, 5th and 6th. And if I push that button, it will actually scroll down. There we go. Only 2 other people been on the podium. Samir Foch in the Aston Martin. He has found himself in the 2nd spot. That was, of course, at Suzuka. Not that I had to look up there to check. And just double checking there, it was Ryan McIntosh. Got himself a 2nd place as well. Very close down the table, as we can see. Any battles that you'll particularly be looking out for yourself this evening, Simon?
Well, I was just about to mention Szymanski and Foch. So if we rewind back to our British GT Championship, Szymanski and Foch took pole position and 2nd place at Spa for that round of the series, and they had a together going through Eau Rouge, and they were both completely out of the points on lap 1. They're both at the front of the grid again today at the minute in 1st and 3rd. Hopefully there's no turn 1 shenanigans between those 2 tonight. You did mention Ryan as well. He's not he's not available, and he's not with us tonight. He's not in tonight's race, one of the podium sitters from round 1. So he's out of the equation. And Alex Phillips, he's down in 11th place. Like I said, he's been on the podium twice so far, and he's really found some form of late. So he could be one to watch he could be one to watch to climb up through the field. And he's obviously going to be missing the next round as well. Unfortunately, he has to go on a honeymoon. So he's going to be missing he's going to be missing the very next round. But he's hoping he can still mount a challenge for one of those IMB jerseys.
Yeah, I'm sure he is very quick. I've actually been lurking in many of his streams recently. Yeah, very quick driver. Nice guy as well, sending me wheel settings and stuff. So, yeah, loving him. Let's see who we've got in the chat. We've got, as I mentioned, we've got Floppy Fox. Jeff, thank you for the follow. Vargas Sim Racing, thank you for the host. Fake _ thank you for the follow. And Giannis Saknis, who I think is racing tonight as a reserve. Thank you for the follow too. Ben Gallagher in the chat, the Camel Straight. It's the Camel Straight. Did I say the Camel Straight? I meant to say the Camel Straight. It is a good looking field, Dr. Neil Bender. How are you doing, you good looking human being? And Iggy, bro, imagine going to a honeymoon instead of racing. I know, let's face it, the largest obstacle to a sim racing career outside of the electricity bill is, of course, the significant other, whether that be male, female. But yeah, certainly honeymoons, that'll definitely put a crimp in your sim racing plans. At the moment on screen, we have Ian Egan in his SOP McLaren, customised by Black Gold. So there we go, lovely Irish flag. And yep, he is getting an awful lot of screen time. That's because he's an absolute legend that just fixed a year and a half of heartache for me by giving me some decent wheel settings. So he's getting lots of camera time tonight. He'll definitely be one to watch, so he is down in 15th at the minute. Let's jump on board though and see if we can indeed get the rest of the field connected. Yes, they are all in, and it is Hubert Szymanski who is in pole position at the moment. John, sorry, Simon, on you go.
Someone to watch. He was the winner of the 2 hours of Spa in the British GT Championship. Lee King McGee's currently in P5 for qualifying. He is really one to watch around Spa. He's very, very quick indeed, and well, he's coming out in the Aston this time, and hopefully he's going to be able to find himself on the podium. There's nothing really to separate any of these guys in the top 10, so it's going to be very interesting indeed.
Yeah, it really is, and I just remembered I forgot to switch the virtual mirror off, but the rest of that does look fairly pretty indeed. But yes, King McGee. It was actually foretold in the chat, Simon. That's how I remember it so well. One of King McGee, I believe it was his dad perhaps, was in the chat at the time. And we were giving the big licks to all the drivers in the chat, and it was foretold. He said, do not count Lee out around Spa. And he went on to win the race. So he certainly has got pedigree here on SOP shores for winning around this very course. And you've got to say, Simon, beautiful, sunny day with a 26-degree track temperature. That is some ideal conditions for some driving here.
Yeah, I mean, the drivers have been lucky so far with the weather because it is set to variable change. Obviously, we can see some clouds appearing, but there's nothing too much to worry about right now. Obviously, 100 minutes. I'm hoping we do have some rain because it'll put the cat amongst the pigeons come pit stop strategies. And obviously, yeah, it might cause some few upsets.
Broke in a sweat today, rain dancing. So hope the gods answer. Right, we need to get this checked. Go to somebody, please message Omar Mo and Jordan Sones and ask them if I can have their livery. I don't understand why Omar's isn't working. But anyway, Omar Mo is racing this evening. Let's have a quick rundown. We've got Lance Taylor joining us. He is currently hidden by the Greenpoint 420 car. And it's Andy Kingy McGee, of course, in the AKM Racing livery. With us this week, a reserve, Huckabee Brown. He is an AKM racer as well, and so is Pete Jeffrey. So LNR out, AKM in by the look of it. Andrew Purcell's joining us this evening, and so is Johnny Marsh in a Fitted UK livery. There's Philip Beeston with some absolutely cracking advice on the side of his car. Come on, head up. Keep your focus further down the track. There we go. George Bratzos then, right in front of him. There we go. He is racing as well. So is Oscar Saristo. There we go, another SOP driver in the Datsun Sunny looking all pimped out. There's Michael Hutchison as well as Chris Andriakopoulos. Then it is Gergi Kunsabo in the Honda. Then my favourite person at the moment, and for all time, Ian Egan. He is in a McLaren. There's Sam Sue, pineapple livery extraordinaire, driving in the Porsche on his home track. Then it is Dimitrios Amoxopoulos. He is another one driving an Aston Martin, very popular car here indeed. Stefan Van Halen, another SOP driver, joining us this evening. And then there is Ryan 360 Renoir, living up to the nickname I just this second gave him. Lucas Zieg, as we mentioned before, there we go. Boom, he is just testing that those safety barriers are indeed safe, and given they stayed intact after that massive impact, I'd say the pass. There's Alistair Clinch tucked in behind. He was obscuring the car a minute ago. He's in the Greenpoint 420 livery, which we're not getting a better view of at the moment. Then is AJ to the P. He is snuck up to 9th at the minute. We've got Giannis Sakrinis joining us for the first time this evening. Another reserve. Let's see if he gets on inside the top 10 at the moment, with Jimmy Holm joining us as well. Musa Masum, Lee Kingy-McGee and Jordan Sones also making appearances this evening. The top 3 at the moment, though, it is Samir Foch still on track, looking to improve on his time, with Hubert Szymanski and Black Championship leading Goldsaw sitting atop the timing board. Let's jump on board with Samir Foch then and see if he can get himself a better position. Coming in to the last section now, Simon, he needs at least 3/10 to get himself an improved position, but even if it stays as is, that is quite an front row of the grid. Is Simon still there? Nope, he's run off. So we'll watch Sir Foch then come into the final chicane. He will be one of the last drivers to set a lap, certainly quick enough to trouble the front two. 2 minutes 16 seconds from Black Goldsaw.
I'll take myself off mute.
Yes, if you take yourself off mute, it definitely helps. Samir Foch doesn't go any quicker than Simon. But yeah, front row of the grid looking very, very, very tasty indeed.
Yeah, well, his roles reversed from series to series. Szymanski is ahead of Foch for the start of this one, but obviously at the head of the field. A 2:16.386 for Black Goldsaw, sitting in P1 as he has done all series so far. Yeah, we're going to see a fantastic start. Jordan is obviously well known and very fast indeed, starting from P4, and he's in the Audi, so that is going to be a beast coming down the straight after Eau Rouge. Masoon there in 5th. He hasn't really featured so far in this series, but he slotted himself into 5th for this one, ahead of Lee King-McGee, so that's a brilliant qualifying performance from him, with Home to Sackness and Phillips and Clinch rounding out the top 10. Porsche's once again struggling, so 11th, 12th and 15th for Ziga, Renoir and Sam Su.
Yes, indeed. Sorry, I lost track of what I was doing there as I was moving down the order there. Trying to get a few more guys on camera. That is the top 15. Of course, yes, Ian Egan. He is in 16th position. Gergi Kuncevo in 17th. Andrea Koblis in 18th. Hutchison 19th. And Oscar Saristo down in 20th. That will not be the case come the end of the race. I will put money on that. We've got Bradsaw's Beeston, Mars, Purcell, Jeffrey, Brown, McGee, Taylor and Moe making up 20 through 29. We do, Simon, this evening have a pit stop as well to take into consideration, and to say that the pit lane, well, keeping it, remember this is before 10 o'clock, so we can't use that type of language, but how would you describe the pit lane experience at Spa?
Well, it's very easy to get a drive-through penalty or a stop-and-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Obviously, it's the longest pit lane in history. And
I believe they serve tea and sausage rolls.
Well, they'll want to maximise the one pit stop that they need to make, that's for sure. And they don't want to pit too early, because if it does end up raining, well, they're going to have to come in again, aren't they? And that's going to be another 1,000 minutes lost in the pit lane.
17 years later, he emerged. A grandfather. Yeah, the pit lane is very, very, very long indeed. It takes over 70% out of your lap time. Let me just bring that map up in case that gets fruity. So yeah, some back and forward going on. I do love to see the drivers chat. There is Spa, of course, Jamer. I had a drive-through last week at Spa, came out 45 seconds back. Yeah, that was actually Quite good then. Hey, that's my car right there, Mr. Twister. Hello, 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 Mr. Twister. What's your name in the game? This is the I keep forgetting. Right, okay. So I need to do that, and do that, and then do that, and do that. Ba-doom, do. Please work. It's worked, Simon. It's actually worked.
It has worked.
It has worked. It has worked. It has worked. It's definitely worked. Yes, so we are all good. We can go back to our live screen for the opening exchanges of round 4. That is an SOP Motorsport Bentley. That is guided by the man missile that is Black Goldsaw. Not only is he the fastest person alive on a joypad on this game, he is absolutely dominating this championship with 3 first place finishes so far. Will he make it 4 for 4? Of course, he has got to get through Eau Rouge for 100 minutes first. It's no easy feat for any driver. That's absolutely 100% guaranteed. Hubert Szymanski then, SOP teammate in the Ferrari. He is going to start in second, and Samir Foch is going to start in third. Jordan Soane's closely in attendance in fourth position. Previous winner here in a similar competition, Lee Kingy McGee, starting down in 6th. Championship protagonist AJ to the P, he is going to start in 9th. Lucas Ziga and Alistair Clinch 10th and 11th. They've got Ryan Renoir just in behind them. The field just seems to get stronger. Stefan Van Halsen there as well. So is Sam Su and Ian Egan. Gerge Kunsabo, don't count him out in that Honda either. And we also have Oscar Saristo. Change a car for Oscar. Am I right in thinking, Simon? He is normally a Ferrari man, yeah?
No, Saristo's been in the Nissan this whole series.
Oh, okay, yeah, but before this series, I mean, was he not...
Yeah. He swapped cars for this series, but he doesn't usually drive this car. Yeah, you're right.
Right, okay. Got you. So there you go. He is testing out the Datsun Sunny. A lot of Aston Martins, as we can see in the field, and they're going to have to make their way around the 4.3 mile circuit.
Do you know what? I'm surprised we haven't got more Astons near the front of the field, because Aston and Spa is completely OP at the minute.
Well, yeah, when you've got... I mean, to be fair, Samir Foch, he is in third. But yeah, no, you're right. There's only 4 in the top 10. Szymanski just ahead of him then in my beloved Ferrari at Spa. Greatest driving experience ever. A Ferrari at Spa. I'm completely not biased, that is for sure. But yes, so here we see them, of course, coming along the Camel Straight, not Camel Straight. Then they'll come into Les Coumans Malmedy, down into Bruxelles. Of course, this is the overtaken spot, side by side, 3 wide. Expect to see it all through this particular part of the track. 2 minutes 16 was the qualifying time for Black Goldsaw there, Simon. That is just insane. And there was another 2 drivers within half a second of that. That is just unbelievable pace. I mean, is it possible to get quicker than a 2 minutes 16 around here?
Well, like you said, it's almost perfect conditions to qualify in currently. Track is only 23 degrees. Cloud cover's not too bad. So yeah, it was a perfect track conditions to set those types of qualifying times. I believe for the British GT, the fastest time was only a 2:17.3, something like that, and that was from Foch, who's there in 3rd place. So he's probably actually right on the money with his qualifying times compared to last series, is Foch. But obviously Szymanski's improved, and Goldsaw wasn't around last time, so he's trumped them all.
Indeed. J Murr, no, he's not on a controller now. He was on a controller, and he was very much still at the front of every grid he raced in. He is now on a wheel, so don't feel too bad. Although I do believe it is a G29. So, yeah, frightening stuff. GT Charity, good evening. Militant, good evening, gentlemen and ladies. And PSN Smoke 7620 saying good afternoon to SOP. Well, from SOP, good afternoon. I hope you're here for an exciting, thrilling 100 minutes, because it's Spa with 29 drivers. There are drivers other than Ian Egan at the moment, but for the warm-up lap, let's just look at that beautiful custom McLaren with those Irish flags. There we go on the spoiler, especially for Ian. They're coming now then to the end of the lap through, definitely one of my favourite parts, Blanchimont. That Stavolo corner is an absolute killer. That will kill your time if you don't get that one right. And of course that left-hand kink Blanchimont that has been the end of many a poor sim racer. Definitely, Simon, it's one of those places. It just seems so tempting to go side by side, but you just really don't do it.
Yeah, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. I know, yeah. You can get away with it if you're like really sensible, but I've seen so many crashes where drivers are trying to overtake each other on the inside or around the outside, and one of them just end up in the wall usually. So yeah, it's a recipe for disaster usually.
Yeah, it really is. There it is there, that right-hand kink. You really can absolutely hammer it flat out. You need to steer into it early. And yeah, that is the key.
I'm just letting Bumblebee in chat know that the Earth is flat, okay?
What would the optimal quality time be if the Earth was flat? 2 minutes 12.
Don't tempt me.
So
we don't want to get into that conversation.
You're not a flat earther, are you, Simon?
No.
Oh, thank goodness. That was about to be a very short broadcast. For one of us, at least. They're coming in. So there is the finish line. Of course, with the GT3 drivers liking to be slightly different. We start around the corner after Les Source. And this course, do you love about this course? It's almost like the Nürburgring, where the Nürburgring, 80% of the Nürburgring corners are designed as setups for the next corner. And yeah, the amount of pace you can win or lose, gain or lose, in some of these corners. Sorry, that Ferrari, that's Massoon's. I really like that Scuderia Ferrari. I'm trying to figure out who that was. That's really tidy. Got completely distracted. Basically, set up corners. You need the perfect exit from every corner to carry as much speed as you can. We're going to have ourselves some green lights and a whole lot of action. Let me just make sure we've actually got some game sound for you guys. So you can actually hear me. Oh, and it's actually where the Ferrari tucks in then, and it is Sir Foch, who's been jumped by Jordan Sones then. Jordan Sones making a move off the start line. I tell you what, Sir Foch has been gobbled up by Massoon as well in the Ferrari. So Sir Foch down potentially 2 places. A lot of slipstream action. Oh, and that's a bit of contact there. That is Alistair Clinch. Oh, had a bit of contact and a bit of a wobble there. All very clean so far from the driver. It's going to be difficult to see who's doing what here because the timing board moves. Oh, that's an AKM driver and a Fitted UK driver coming very close. A bit of contact there coming through Lecombe. All survived. Black Goldsaw still leading the race here, but Szymanski close in attendance. John Sones then. He's up to into third, and these 3 have got themselves a gap. Samir Foch has gotten a place back, and Massoum has lost the place then to Lee Kingy McGee, who's got himself back up to 5th. I think the timing board will reflect very shortly when Massoum is dropped back down. Sakinas then, he is hanging on in 7th. Jimmy Holm is definitely not in 8th. Oh yes, he is, sorry. He is in that McLaren. Alistair Clinch then is just ahead of him. I hate it when they go through the first sector. You really can't tell who's doing what for a couple of seconds. Lucas Ziga says is very close to someone, but he is all on his own. Oh, he's down in 27th then. So something bad has happened. He was in 13th. He's now down in 27th position.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a coming together. I'm not sure who started it, but Samsu was involved, Lucas Ziga, and I believe it was Stefan Van Hal, but he looks to have got through that unscathed at the minute.
Yeah, he does then. Ian Egan has Michael Hutchison probing in the Fitted UK, so it's SOP versus Fitted UK, and they're going to go side by side through Blanchimont on lap 1. No, they're not, because Ian Egan knows what he's doing. He's tucked in behind and relented the place, but he's given himself a beautiful slipstream run then. Coming into the last chicane, he's going to go side by side. No, he's not. His teammate in the Datsun Sunny is going to say thank you very much and take an absolutely beautiful line, so he is going to have a run through La Source. So Ian Egan then has lost himself a couple of places there in the opening exchanges of lap 1 here for round 4. It is Black Goldsaw still leading the race with Szymanski in 2nd. Jordan Sones in 3rd. Samir Foch is in 4th place with Lee Kingy McGee, as I said, up to 5th. Massoum is defending for all he's worth. Oh, and he's not going to be defending it. Oh, I'll tell you what, Giannis is going to get himself a large talking to from the stewards. That is track penalty number 1 for Giannis, I would guesstimate. Mr. Clinch is the man just ahead of AJ to the P and Jimmy Holm in 9th and 10th. I'm not sure entirely if that will be the case for much longer, and I did forget to put the virtual mirror off. I apologise for that noob beginner mistake here at Broadcast HQ, but we will get a nice view of what's behind. But tell you what, you're still getting decent graphics. I was worried it was going to mess with the frame rate of the picture, but it's not, so it's all good. But we're on the front bumper then of AJ to the P. He's currently in 10th, very, very 10th. I'm sure he's not 10th, he's as calm as a coma when he's driving. He is chasing down Holmes in 9th position. Renoir currently tracking in 12th. He's got Gergi Kunsabo. In fact, he's got the move done on Kunsabo. He has, so he is up to 11th. I was going to say he's lapping very quickly for the opening exchanges, and he's got the move done, so he is up to 11th. And it's now Stefan Van Hal that is trying to get past that Honda. He's got a Moxopoulos, Michael Hutchison very close in attendance. Then it's Ian Egan. Let's get some close-ups of the cars. That's not that one, that's that one. There we go. Ian Egan.
Yeah, I think Stefan Van Hal's going to be one to watch as this race progresses as well, John, because he started down in around 15th for the British GT version of the Spa race. Obviously, that was 2 hours. He ended up in 4th place come the end of the race. He just had one of those fantastic, clean, perfect pit stop, perfect strategy, and made his way up through the field nice and cleanly. So he's looking to do the same here this afternoon. The Hondas of Kansabo and Van Hal have had a pretty decent start there in 12th and 13th.
Oh, he's in it again. Oh, sorry, he's in it again. But look at the Datsun Sunny. He's sorry, he's just absolutely. Oh, and Ian Egan's lost it there. He has spun. So there was all kinds of action happening there. Sorry, Amoxopoulos then, he got himself caught up. He tried to go side by side through Blanchimon with Van Hal. Van Hal held his ground. Amoxopoulos had to back out, letting Michael Hutchison get through. Then Oscar Seristo, it looked like Ian Egan was back in front of him as they came into the last chicane. Oscar tried to stick up the inside again. There was a 2x2 situation in the last chicane, which resulted in Ian Egan being spun. Oscar Seristo, oh, and the Honda's away. Oh, and there you go. That is calamity at the top. Sam Su, the Pineapple Warrior, he has made contact, heavy contact, with an SOP car. Stefan Van Hal, so it looked like Stefan and Gergi Kunsabo may have made contact going up Radion Rouge into the Kemmel Kink. And I tell you what, that has ended in all kinds of disaster and a very confused broadcaster, because the timing board's going to take a couple of seconds to update as we see a few cars jump into the pit. So big contact there, Simon, but that is definitely Sam Su on the receiving end, and Stefan Van Hal, who we were just talking about. Yeah, he is limping along that Kemmel straight down in 26th position at the moment. So lap 1 looked good, but lap 2 a bit brave up Eau Rouge, and a couple of drivers paying the price there.
Yeah, not the cleanest of lap 2s from a couple of drivers here. Hopefully they start to get their act together and start to compose themselves now, because it's a type of silly incidents just through laps of concentration and stuff that you don't need to see when they're racing so closely. And obviously these drivers... Yeah, exactly. 100-minute race, and contact on the second lap of the race is not what you want to see.
Oh, certainly not.
I'm just watching the replay now of... I've just watched the replay of Sam, and that was through no fault of his own. It looked like the two Honda drivers. I just mentioned them. Van Hal and Kansabo, they seem to have had to come together coming up through Radillion, and then Sam was just the unfortunate driver to find himself coming over the crest of that hill, and he just made contact with Van Hal, who was just left there in the middle of the circuit. Is very, very unfortunate indeed. And then obviously Sam spins out and collects another car just for good measure. And yeah, that was a bit of a crazy sequence of events.
Yeah, that is one of the many joys of, let's just say, we could just see Sir Fossier coming up the crest of the hill. That is where Sam was coming over on the last lap to find two cars spinning, tried to avoid, and definitely made contact with one, so that will put a kink in their plans. Sir Foss, as we can see, ever probing. Oh, going for the side by side into Lecombe. then backs right out of it. Jordan Soane's in full defensive mode. He will do everything he can to hang on to this podium position, but with a driver of Sir Fosh's calibre behind him, it is going to be a fight to the end or the death. We will see which comes first for these drivers. Szymanski, 1.3 seconds now is the gap to Black Goldsaw, championship leader, and we could pretty much start embroidering his name on the jerseys. He is, as Simon said, got more than just a pinky on it now. Still an hour and 30 minutes of racing to go around Spa, so still plenty of time, and a timing just caught my eye there. Let's see how close. Oh, and I tell you what, Alistair clinched then. Why can't I see him on the timing board? Oh, it's not Alistair clinch, it's AJ to the P. Sorry, AJ.
Yeah, so it looks like these Astons are now starting to come on strong. They didn't have the best of qualifying, but obviously their race pace around Spa is just something phenomenal. And Clinch has moved up to 7th, AJ is moving up to 9th. He's looking to challenge that Mercedes-Benz number 15 of, how would you say that surname? Tsaknes?
Sakness.
Silent
Sakness.
T?
Silent T, I would think, yeah.
And AJ is right on that bumper now. Oh my word, you couldn't get any closer as they go through Blanchimont right now. They kept it together, and I think he's going to have a sniff at the inside coming into the bus stop chicane. He switches to the outside. Can he make it stick? Not this time around.
Oh, I think you've got that one wrong, Simon. I think you'll find that he has, in fact, got that done. That is exactly how to get that done, and you can see the defensive move from Sakness now. He's squeezing AJ over. Perfectly legal move to squeeze over like that, and I tell you what, he has. Ooh, AJ's running.
Jimmy Holm is coming through as well now.
Yeah, he really is. He really is. Oh, love to see it. So there we go then. So Jimmy Holm, he said, "Thank you very much, my battling compadres. Let me just jump in the middle here, and it's times like these you're glad you left the virtual mirror on. Let's just have a little looky at that then. Look how close in that rear view mirror he's getting. Oh, and he's going to have to go 3 wide. J to the P using all the slipstream that he can. The control through here under slipstream braking conditions is incredible. Ooh, little bit of bumping.
Touch.
Oh yeah, but trading paint there, so it's AJ that makes back up the place. The McLaren of home put back into his place temporarily, you would feel, and this one is going to go on for a while. Love what Spa has to offer in terms of racing. It is absolutely phenomenal. Let's just have a look as well. H. Brown, that's Huckabee, of course. Brand new. He is a reserve driver that has taken his spot, and he's in 18th at the moment, and he is ahead of teammate Pete Jeffrey. These two battling away furiously. I'm sure Huckabee would love to get one over on one of his teammates, with it being his inaugural race in the championship. The AKM team well and truly represented here, and it is fantastic to see so many drivers, especially all sporting the same livery. And if you have a look down at the leaderboard there, 24th position, that is Andy King McGee, one of the founding family of the AKM Racing Empire, we'll now call them, considering they've got so many drivers in the championship. He's actually taken his mandatory pit stop. There's a good chance.
Sorry to interrupt you here, John, but there's a 4-way battle for 3rd place. Jordan has seemed to come a bit unstuck as Sir Fosh is going right round the outside then. He looks to have got the job done as they're coming up to La Source. Now he's going to be on the inside of that corner as they're going side by side. Down the Formula 1 straight they go. Into La Source. Fosh has the inside. Stones is on the outside. He gets the move done. You've got King McGee then, the AKM Racing team, not too far behind. And Masoon has been relegated in that Ferrari down into 6th place now. Massive 4-way battle here going on for that final podium position.
Yeah, this slipstream here is going to make this so interesting going along here. Oh, and all 4 drivers just about
pushing the limits.
Legal. Wow. So that is as close to illegal as you can get there. Please don't try that at home. None of you are aliens, I'm sure. 4-way battle then, and it is, oh, this is fantastic stuff. Look at this going into Lacoum. So it is Sir Fosh in the lead. Jordan Soane's then found himself defending against Sir Fosh. Sir Fosh is off and running. It's Kingy McGee saying thank you very much. I'm getting well and truly involved in this. Masoom, of course, was the man on the move early doors. Now lurking there in 6th. Ooh, Kingy doesn't quite get it right. on the entrance there, so a little gap opens back up. Jordan trying to find a way back to attack. Oh, I tell you what, and Jordan runs a bit wide there. That could be a little bit of a slap on the wrist, and it is Masoon then, who looks like he is going to be making a move then. The next one to make a move, sorry. Out with this group of 4. Oh, has a bit of a wiggle then. Corsa the commentators as we are on board with the Ferrari. Looking very quick. That sun visor really can be a pain. Well, I tell you what, I think Jordan's made a lot of mistakes there as we were focusing on Masoom. It looks like Jordan's made himself a lot of mistakes. There's definitely a gap. Oh, and there's Alistair Clinch in the background as well, in an Aston Martin. So they are certainly coming into their own at the moment as we see Sir Fosh taking one on to the podium, and Alistair Clinch and Lee Kingy McGee certainly doing the Aston Martin name proud at the moment, sitting in 5th and 7th and looking very likely to improve on those positions should the current battling continue as is. 22 degrees, so the track is actually cooled quite a lot. Time it was 26 during qualifying, 22 now during the race, and that is definitely going to help these guys with their tyre life.
Yeah, it's really going to cool down as this race progresses. It's almost obviously 6:30 in the evening now. They've still got an hour and a half to go, so it's going to be 8 o'clock by the time this one's done and dusted. The sun will truly be setting. As I'm just having a look a bit further back, and Alex Phillips has got the move done. Then he's managed to get past Holmes and Sackness for 8th place. So you got 4
nice.
Aston Martins into the top 8 now, and they're looking to make moves and catch up to the back of Masoon, who is currently in 6th. Obviously at the back of this quad or trio of drivers now fighting over what is 4th place, because Sir Fosh has got a bit of breathing space between himself and Jordan.
Indeed, a couple of notifications there. Kose Kinesi. Yeah, give me some clues in the chat how to pronounce that. Be fabulous. Thank you very much. Thank you for the follow. Dead Channel 519. Thank you for the follow. Tisp TY. Ty STP. Sorry, Ty. That was an obvious one. Sorry, Ty STP. Sorry. Thank you for the follow as well. J Mur, Datsun Sunny. Lol. Yes, love the Datsun Sunny. Hi SDP, what a rejoin. Indeed, holy stiffs from Mr. Deathzone. J Mur, why? Indeed, rejoined like it was his track. That is a fair assessment of the situation. Rude of me for not following before. Ty, jump in, say hello. All good, my friend. Mr. Deathzone busting out the octopus emotes as well. Good to see everybody in the chat. How do we think the race is going to end? Is it going to be a black gold sort massacre? Is Szymanski going to turn the table? Is Sir Fosh going to fly that Aston Martin to the top spot? And how is this battle between Soames, McGee and Masoom going to work its way out? Still some very quick drivers back down the field. Some more chat going on. We'll get back to that in a second. Sorry, Stefan Van Hal then running in 27, so we'll have lost 2 drivers. He has rejoined in his Honda after that incident, and so thankfully Sam Su in his Porsche on his home track, so he will definitely be looking to finish this race strongly in his Pineapple Porsche. Then we've got Chris Andriakopoulos, an Aston Martin driver, down in 25th position. Then it's Andy Kingy McGee. He's actually taken his pit stop and he is in 24th. Then it's Ian Egan involved in that incident as well. Unfortunately, he's in 23rd. He's taking his pit stop as well. Lucas Ziga in the Porsche in the pits, taking his mandatory stop as well. Philip Beeston no longer with us then, meaning Omar Moe is in 21st position, and Gergi Kunsabo no longer with us either, meaning that Lance Taylor is in 20th position in his McLaren. Then it's Pete Jeffrey, Huckabee Brown, Andrew Purcell and Johnny Marsh. That is 20th through 16th. Top 15 is George Bratsos, Oscar Saristo, sorry, just checking the timing board. That's very close. Let's stop the rundown. Oh, and he has got the move done. He has got the move done. So Masoon's got the move done on. Sorry, I'm not complaining about the move being done. I'm just complaining that I missed it there running down the field. But Masoon then, he has got the move done. He is now up to 5th. So all change right through this, Simon. I was going to talk about pit stop strategies in about 20 minutes time, but we might as well talk about it now, because these cars could probably get about an hour and 10 minutes worth of fuel in them. So for these three drivers, this battle that they're in, this is surely going to massively impact their pit strategies that they were thinking about pre-race, because this is not the type of thing you want to be doing to your tyres for lap after lap after lap after Spa. At Spa, sorry.
Well, no, and obviously these trio cars are being involved in the trading of paint, and Alistair Clinch is closed right up to the back of him as well. So he's going to be into the mix of this very, very soon, as he looks to be a bit slidey actually in the Aston Martin. But yeah, we don't really know what everybody's pit strategies are right now. Obviously, some of these drivers could be running higher fuel, lower fuel. They could be waiting to see if rain comes. It's going to be people like AJ, Alex Phillips, who's in 8th place. He's the type of driver that would have probably fueled himself to the maximum to go as long as he can, and then he's going to show some blistering pace as the race progresses near the end, and he's going to be thankful for this type of battle over 4th place between Jordan, Masoon and King McGee, because he's able to close up to the back of this battle, and then when he makes his pit stop strategy, we could see him jump up into 4th place, as high as 4 places during the pit stop window.
Yeah, well, I would expect AJ to get involved sooner rather than later. He is lapping about a second a lap quicker than Alistair Clinch, who is the man just behind this four-way battle. And we can see just behind. Oh! Well, there we go.
Track limits, there we go.
Yeah, drive-through penalty. So I'll tell you, AJ now, if he's going to take advantage of Alistair's slipstream to get involved in that battle, he's going to have to do it within the next 3 laps, because Alistair is going to have to make a trip into the pits within 3 laps to serve that drive-through penalty, and that is going to be an absolute killer to his finishing position. Over 70% of your lap time is lost driving through the pits. It is savage.
Yeah, it's only been 20 minutes into the race, and well, he must be abusing the track limits, something rotten if he's picked up a drive-through already. God help him for the rest of the race.
Yeah, seriously.
He could be hit with another one before the race is finished.
Yeah, he really could be. I did a Suzuki race earlier actually for the first time on my new wheel settings, and I picked up 2 warnings in the first 10 minutes. So yeah, getting far too brave now. I can actually handle the car on the curbs. I was running those limits like they did not exist, and the stewards were very quick to put me back in my place. It was good fun though. It was good fun. Stefan Van Hal, I'm sure he's still in front. 27th position he's in at the moment. Still got to take his mandatory pit stop. And so does Sam Su in 26th. Andrea Coppolis in 25th at the moment. Just scared I'm going to miss out on some battles up at the front. Let's
Driver 20, yellow flag.
Car, what, sorry?
Who is that? Driver 20 going off. 420.
Oh, that's Alistair Clinch. 420 is Alistair Clinch. Oh, yeah, he's been gobbled up. That was Lucas Ziga. And the Porsche just went flying through, I believe. That's an Aston Martin. Yeah, that's the back of the grid unlapping themselves at the moment. That is Sam Su then.
So not only has he got a drive-through, but he seemed to have lost it then.
Yeah,
I was saying he did look rather slidey in that Aston. He didn't look like he had full control over it, and obviously he's come a bit unstuck as he slides his way into the pits as well. So
yeah,
not a good day in the office.
Very planted as well. Very planted. That thing is, yeah, it's like it's on rails at some tracks.
Well, there we go. That's AJ, and the rest of the field moved up a position thanks to Alistair Clinch getting that drive-through penalty. And this battle is roaring on with Jordan leading the way still. Masoon's back up into 5th. King McGee is down into 6th. And let's just watch this gap now. Alex Phillips is 5 seconds adrift of that battle for 4th place. We'll see how quickly he can reel those guys in, because you were saying he was about a second a lap quicker than Clinch before that drive-through penalty.
Yeah, he was. And we see Jordan, look at the pace he's got now. So he is leaving the battling pair behind him. There's Alistair coming into the pits as well. Must be recent, confirmed to me today. Floppy Fox. Used to be, but yeah, he's on a wheel now. He is definitely on a wheel now. Szymanski P1. Oh, Szymanski 4P1 tie. Right, okay. Goldsaw for the win. He's too much pace. Yes. Goldsaw stumps are going to fall off. Watching from Guelph, Ontario, Canada. Nice day, channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good evening. I've been to Toronto myself. I've never been to Ontario. I did the whole Niagara Falls and all that malarkey. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful company. Country, welcome to the team. If you anybody want to get involved in the racing, by the way, SOP Motorsport on Discord. My beautiful secretary will share the link in the chat any moment.
Oh, too funny.
It never gets old, does it, Simon?
Never ever.
Never ever. So yeah, we're going to share the link. If you want to get involved in this racing, PS4 and PC is where it's at with us. Monday night we've got leagues, Wednesday night we have events this side of the pond and t'other. And although that might be changing nights depending on availability, we'll see. We'll let you know how that one goes. And Saturday night we'll have endurance events as well. There you go. There's the link. Give it a click. You can get involved. Or if you just like watching Twitch and YouTube, and of course you keep up to date with everything. Or keep up to date with everything on Twitter and Facebook. I need to slow down sometimes. I keep forgetting just how quickly Scottish people speak.
Well, it's probably a good opportunity to actually talk about what is coming up, and obviously we have our 1 year anniversary and celebration endurance event. So that's going to be the very first endurance event that SOP Motorsport has ever held, and voted for by the Assetto Corsa Competizione drivers. Imola come out on top with 33.5% of the votes. Literally 0.5% separated Kyalami and Imola for the chosen track. And there was just under 200 people who voted, so fantastic that was. Yeah, so we're going to look forward to Imola on Sunday, July the 4th. We'll have a start time of 11 AM, which will be a free practice. All sessions are going to be rolled into one, so you'll have your free practice. Qualifying, which will be 30 minutes. And then the 6-hour endurance event to take you through your Sunday afternoon.
And is it a team event? Will there be driver changes?
Yes, of course, it's a team event. So it's teams of either 2 or 3 drivers. And it's obviously going to be every driver's going to have to do at least one driver stint of 65 minutes in that 6-hour race, which shouldn't be a problem, especially if teams are only fielding 2 drivers. That'll be a nice split of 3 hours of track time each.
Nice. Yeah, so that is, of course, 4th of July, Sunday. So, Masum made a mistake. Massive, massive, massive mistake. Into the last chicane. Did not see what happened there. Simon is going to frantically jump onto the replay button to see what did.
I will now.
Excellent.
Yeah,
I tell you what, AJ to the P. He is going to be very grateful for what he just seen, because that is one of the drivers he was hunting down. He has just absolutely dropped it then, coming into the last chicane. He will be hoping to gather himself sooner rather than later in that Ferrari coming up radio. Once again, manages to hold it there, so no real damage to the car by the look of it. Simon?
Yeah, so I'm just on board now. He seems to... Oh, he just clipped the curb after coming through Blanchimont just before the bus stop chicane, and that front end of that Ferrari just got way out of shape. And it was literally, he took a trip across the grass. He managed to collect himself rather good, actually. He saved himself from hitting.
Everybody move!
Lenovo Legion. Stylish outside, savage inside.
Hitting a wall and hitting others, and Lee King McGee just said, "Thank you very much. I'll have 5th place from you."
Yeah, he really will.
But there's no damage. There's no damage. So he's away and running in P6, and he's obviously got some ground to make up on King McGee now.
Yeah, he does. So, going all the right way for our previous Spa race winner, Lee Kingy McGee, finding himself in 5th position with 2 of the drivers around him. Dropping it. Oh, and that's one of his teammates there. Blue flag. There we go. That's Andy, I believe. Both drivers making it round successfully. Black Goldsaw then, now 7.7 seconds in the lead. It's an absolutely frightening lead he's got. This race is absolutely his to throw away as and when he sees fit. Absolutely on top of things in that Bentley. 11 laps in, still an hour and 10 minutes to go, but he is looking very quick indeed. Quickest man on track. His best lap of the race so far is a 2 minutes 17.5. His last lap was a 2 minutes 17.6. It's just absolutely frightening. Hubert Szymanski lapping. Everyone else in the top 5 all lapping in the 2 minutes 18s quite comfortably, but Black Goldsaw really is head and shoulders above the rest at the moment.
It's not even just his one lap speed either, is the consistency that he has with those laps. It's just every single one is identical. It's like a Terminator. He just never stops coming after you. Every single lap of it's just identical. And
like the German football team at any major football competition. Just an absolute machine who will always be in the final, let's face it. Yeah, Black Goldsaw is definitely in that league at the moment. 12 laps in, just phenomenal.
Tell you what, John, I said to watch the gap. It was 5 seconds only 2 laps ago. Is Massoon's in the wall again? Massoon is in the wall again then, so he now definitely has front end damage on that Ferrari. He got all out of sorts there. I think he was just struggling with the aero being in Lee King McGee's slipstream, and look at that, AJ Alex Phillips is right on that bumper, and Massoon now he's going to look to pounce on that P6 before this lap is over, as that has just created a bit of a gap to Lee King McGee, so he's got a bit of breathing space at the moment, but Alex Phillips is coming in fast, and he's putting along Jimmy Home in the 777 machine as well, so fantastic battles going on for these top 10 places.
Yeah, there really is. They've just seen the Ferrari getting all kinds of out of shape. You would think that Massoon may well come in to get his pit stop done. But as you said, Alec getting very, very, very close indeed. Ooh, I tell you what, Massoon really struggling there. He's run wide, and Alex is going to have all the pace. Difficult decision here for Alex. Does he go side by side through Blanchimont? Oh, I tell you what, they're lining up for it. Oh, yep. AG up the middle then, they're going to come into the last chicane. Massoon clearly carrying damage there, so he is going to brake a lot earlier than he normally would. He's not come into the pits. Wow. That, for me, Simon, is a mistake. If you're carrying damage around this track, especially that close to the pit entrance, get yourself in there and get that repaired. He's only going to hammer his time. And Jimmy Home is very quickly going to find himself a place up, you would think.
Well, like you said, you would think most cars could go the hour and 10 mark. So I think he's only going to do maybe another lap or two, and then we will see him in. And it'll just be like a standard 60-minute race for Massoon from there on in. If he can survive, he looks to be out of
trouble at the source there. Amoxopoulos was getting... Oh, fitted UK driver. What is that? Goodness gracious me, the stewards are going to be busy this week. That was Michael Hutchison, I think. Yeah. Maybe you could have held the brakes a bit. Watch your radar, watch your timing board. But that looks like an incident. It looked like Amoxopoulos then was very, very, very close indeed. I can't now remember which driver it was he was close to because they all just hit one another. But a bit of a mistake there in the source. And Oscar Saristo is the man that has absolutely benefited from that. That's a blue flag situation. So the Datsun Sonny driver and Lucas Ziga then in the Porsche. So Luca is the man that's a lap down. He's currently in 21st position, and he's got Oscar Saristo in 11th. But remember, Luca has, yes, he has taken his pit stop. So Luca is actually the lead driver on track to have taken his pit stop, but he has let Oscar Saristo, SOP's Nissan driver, through and away in 11th. He'll obviously not be wanting to get caught up too much in that battle. Masum, though, he's battled with every element of this race in the last couple of laps, and he's going to be battling with Jimmy
watching
Holm.
the replay now. Yeah, that was a massive, massive mistake from. It wasn't from the fitted UK driver, actually. It was from, who was that car next to him?
Yeah, the aftermath.
Number 12, the number 12 machine. He just completely missed his braking points, and the gap wasn't there
up
for
the
him
inside,
to take. But
Jimmy
he's
Holm,
still.
sorry, up the inside. They've just come through Blanchimont. Jimmy, I looked at the recording tool there, but yeah, Jimmy absolutely held Blanchimont beautifully there, and he's got the move done. Masum staying out, not come into the pits as of yet, and it's cost him another place. An hour and 7 minutes left to go on the race. Jimmy Holm has been promoted to 7th with AJ to the P just ahead. Sorry, Simon, you were saying there about the incident?
Yeah, and sorry, I was just saying the number 12 machine of Bratsos just completely missed his braking points. The door was being closed by Hutchinson quite dramatically, and the move wasn't on, but he still tried to go for it, and then he just swiped the rear end of him, and they both went round, and that caught Lucas Eager out. And also, once again, Sam Su was involved. He just is not having much luck this evening. Sam Su is involved, coming through that incident, no fault of his own, as Hutchinson was obviously trying to correct himself in the middle of the racetrack, where you shouldn't really be trying to correct yourself. He just managed to get in the way of Sam Su, who was once again involved in an unfortunate incident where it wasn't his fault. So 25th place for Sam. He qualified in the top 15 and just having one of those rotten races, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is definitely a bit unfortunate for Lance Taylor. Sorry, we're just talking about Lance Taylor. He's in 17th at the moment. Jensen Team Rocket driver. He's got an AKM driver either side of him at the moment. That is Jeffrey. Oh, wow. So, Hubert Szymanski then is in second position. That was an absolute send. Black Goldsaw. He is in first still. 9.7 seconds is the lead. He is not taking his pit stop on this lap. Neither is Szymanski. You'd expect him to run a bit longer. Samir Foch is the driver trying to close the gap, and he is closing the gap. Him and Szymanski only a tenth apart on their best lap, and on this lap, on the previous lap, sorry, less than half a second separated them. Samir bringing the Aston Martin to life in this opening stage of the race. Still an hour and 5 minutes to go with the mandatory pit stop. Oh, there's Alistair Clinch still in the pits. Terminal damage for Alistair. You can see what we've taken part. Let's have a look at the lap times. So, on the last lap, so it was actually Hubert who was slightly quicker there, 4/10. He was quicker than Sir Foch, and Black Goldsaw 4/10 quicker than Hubert. So the three drivers at the top having their own little game of cat and mouse at distance almost. Masum then, he has not come into the pits again, so he has stayed out for a third lap since taking that damage. He's staying in touch though with Jimmy Holm in the treble 7 McLaren. Hanging on in there to the slipstream with AJ to the P just ahead of them. He's trying to make inroads into Lee Kingy McGee, our previous winner here. We can see just ahead of him. Lapping just slightly quicker. Oh no, in fact, yes he is, sorry, 2/10. 2/10 in fact. AJ was quicker than Kingy on the last lap, and the two of them have both done a fastest lap of 2 minutes 18.5. So it might take a while for AJ to catch up, but he's certainly showing the type of pace he needs to make that happen. Alistair Clinchden still in the pits with Stefan Van Hal in 26th. Then it's Andy Kingy McGee in 25th, and Sam Su, trouble magnet, unfortunately, he is in 24th with Andrea Coppolis in 23rd. Then it's Ian Egan in 22nd position, who along with Lucas Ziga in 21st has taken his pit stop. And it's an unfortunate situation for Lucky here. He finds himself behind someone 10 places ahead of him, but someone of very similar pace. So very difficult to unlap yourself in these circumstances, especially when you have the Porsche Samsu breathing down your neck. It is Omar Moe then, who is in 20th position, with Huckabee Brown in 19th. He's going to be suffering from some aero damage after taking some front end damage from that lunge at the end of the Kemmel Straight, with Pete Jeffries' teammate in 18th. Lance Taylor up into 17th, with Andrew Purcell currently running in 16th position. Then it's Johnny Marsh and Demetrius Amoxopoulos in 15th and 14th, with George Bratsos in 13th. Michael Hutchison, naughty, straightening up his car in the wrong place. He is in 12th, with Oscar Soristo. As we mentioned before, the Porsche up the inside, and this is, awkward, because, there we go. Samsu making it back up through there. The inside, it is Oscar who's leading this group and is at 10 places ahead of them. In 11th, Ryan Renoir. Expected a bit more from Ryan in the Porsche. Again, home track for him this evening. He is in 10th, with Gianna Sacris, our reserve driver, having a great showing. Top 10, 9th position at the moment. Then it's Musa Masum, involved in so much action early on and carrying so much damage at the moment. Still running in 8th though, and it's Jimmy Holm in 7th, who is now starting to create himself a bit of a gap. Then, well, it's Indigo Lime Racing's Alex Phillips, AJ to the P. Aston Martin driver in 6th. We reckon here in the commentary box he might be fueled as far as possible, so we could see him get his lap times dropping towards the end of the race.
I'll tell you what, John, Alex was almost a whole second faster than Lee on that last lap, and you can visibly see the gap between those two come down dramatically. Only 1.4 seconds between those two now. There's going to be some spicy action between these Aston drivers just in the next lap or two, I think.
Yeah, could well be. Could well be, as you say, the Aston Martin of Alex Phillips closing in on Kingy McGee in 5th. Jordan Soanes is the man still hanging on to 4th position. Oh, bit of a wiggle there on the exit to the chicane. Really pushing to get himself back onto the podium. A spot he did hold until Samir Foch came along and took it promptly away from him. He's now in 3rd with Szymanski and Goldsot. First,
I'm not sure what happened to Foch at the beginning of the race. He just seemed to get swamped by all sorts of drivers, because he qualified in 3rd and he was down in 6th at one point. But he's made his way back up into the podium positions, and he's got a nice 5-second gap to Jordan at the minute.
Yeah, he did. He got bogged down a bit. He really did get bogged down at the start. As you say, he lost himself a good few places, but he has got his act together. And he is getting the job done. We've had another follow. Toyn1123, thank you for following. Welcome to the gang. Look at the consistency, indeed militant. That is ridiculous. There's Dr. Nailbender busting out the Raven remotes. Love to see that. Floppy Fox, of course you heard it. Wasn't the grassy touch, it was a bit of the curb. And that was the end of that. These two out ahead are superhuman. Ty, the correct word is alien. We believe they go back to their home planet once every 8 weeks for a couple of hours to recharge. That's the latest rumour in the paddocks, but yeah, absolute alien pace from some of these drivers up at the front. Masum still hanging on in there with the damage to his car, Simon. I mean, look at, that thing's had a dent and a bruising all up one side, so that's some lopsided driving he's doing at the moment, and he's still putting in some decent lap times.
I was just studying the drivers actually right now, and obviously he's sitting in 8th place, and he's got almost a 10-second cushion back to 9th, and 9th place is currently lapping slower than Massoon. So whether he knows that or not, and that's the reason why he's deciding to stay out, because he's got that cushion of 10 seconds back to Saknis, who isn't lapping faster than him. And just to touch on Saknis and all the reserves that are in this race now, they're in the series for the remaining rounds. So all reserves that were reserves are now main drivers, and we do actually have 38 confirmed drivers, even though they haven't all shown up for this round.
Nice. Well, so that means there's space on the reserve list. So if anybody out there wants to get involved on the reserve list, jump on the SimGrid website and you can. SOP GT Challenge Series.
Oh, Lee King McGee! Lee King McGee has spun it all on his own. Coming through La Source, he put the power down too soon, and that Aston Martin just said, "You spin me right round, baby, right round." Oh my word! I wasn't expecting that one.
No, and yeah, no, a list of things you expect to happen this evening. There's been quite a few that have cropped up, and that is definitely one of them. Lee King McGee, previous winner here at Spa, drops it through the source, makes himself a bit of wall contact, and that is definitely going to put a crimp in his plans for the remainder of the race. But Alex Phillips then, oh, down to 8th for Kingy. And he's got Sackness just behind him in the Mercedes. He's carrying too much damage.
I don't think King McGee has got any damage at all. I think he just spun the car. He just spun coming out of the source. Yeah, I don't think he hit any walls or anything. Just a driver error there, unfortunately.
Well, there you go. Then you were mentioning AJ to the P before the race is potentially one to watch. He qualified down in 9th, 10th,
11th. I think 11th. He ended up on the grid. Yeah.
There you go. So 6 places. Just with the consistency that he's got, lapping within 3/10 of himself pretty much every lap, 2 minute in the 2-minute 18s. But he is absolutely making the most of others' mistakes and keeping himself very calm, cool and consistent around here. 5th place then for the Indigo Lime Racing driver in the Aston Martin. And he and Sir Foch leading the charge for the Aston Martin drivers as they try and find some way of toppling this man, Black Goldsaw. Good luck with that. 19 laps in, 12.5 seconds in the lead. He is with Hubert Szymanski, his SOP teammate, driving a Ferrari. The man tasked with closing the gap, and yeah, genuinely doesn't seem to be happening in this stint, so we will see how the pit stops play into this. Of course, a mandatory pit stop. Remind us again, Simon, any mandatory requirements during the pit stop? Take yourself off mute.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, so the drivers do need to make one mandatory stop for fuel and tyres in this series. We tried to mix it up in the last series of the British GT Championships, and some of the drivers were getting very confused. Obviously, we saw drivers taking pit stops when they didn't need to, and we saw drivers not taking pit stops when they did need to. And so we just decided on one preset of one mandatory stop for fuel and tyres every single round, regardless of the race length. So we're sort of kind of gets rid of strategy, but not completely, because obviously fuel and how long they wish to go into a stint, or how short they wish to go, and obviously if they want to try and get an undercut or overcut or pick up damage and whatnot. So yeah,
because you can take on about 28 litres of fuel, 30 litres of fuel before it actually affects your time when you're doing a tyre change. That's correct, isn't it?
You got me stumped on that one. I'm not entirely sure. I don't want to give out any false information.
Yeah, I'm sure if you line up a 30-second tyre change.
I don't know how much fuel you can actually take within that 30 seconds, that's all.
Yeah, so however long they can take on, drivers can certainly use that as a strategy. The Bentley, we know, can run forever in a day. It's got its own oil refinery in the boot. That thing just generates its own gravitational force as well as petrol, so that will run forever. So Black Goldsaw will probably be the last driver to take his pit stop. Certainly not taking it now. Is it Sackness down in... Where's he gone? Oh, he's down 19th then.
Yeah, he's made his one stop.
Yes, yeah, well that's what I was looking to see, because he's obviously made his stop. He was lapping up in the top 10. So he has come out, is it officially 19th? Is that definitely Omar Mo's ahead of? I think it is. So there you go then, 10 places. He has dropped back, so expect him to make 10 places back. So yeah, it's still a very, very, very close field given the track. that we're dealing with, of course, Spa in Belgium. Who is all in the chat? My championship is TSR. Wait, I have to hold the brakes, but I stop completely on the racing line. Yeah.
I think he's on about Hutchinson there.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Unfortunate for Sam, that was very. Sam, you just were involved in all those incidents that were nothing to do with you. You're just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Every single lap, which is super, super unfortunate. I'm sorry you have to withdraw.
Yeah. Certainly be sorry to see the pineapple livery go, but mate, yeah, that was yeah, it was a painful one. Let's face it, there's only so much you can do, and if your car's magnetised to bring trouble, then yeah, let me spin and come back on the racing line. Yeah, people do need to learn to hold their brakes a bit better, especially after they've been involved in an incident. We've still got quite a few drivers out on track though. Masoon's still lapping with that damage that he's got. Unlucky for Sam, those two are out ahead. Are human liking the one-liner. There you go, Militant liking the one-liners from Simon as well. So there we go, Simon. Your sense of humour is going down fantastically well. Love to see it. And yeah, Dr. Nailbender sympathising with TSR Wake. Yeah, absolutely painful. Sim racing can certainly be a cruel mistress. That is absolutely for sure. Just put the sound on that back up a bit. There we go. We do still have 51 minutes to go. Next 6. Oh, tell you what, there we go. Didn't expect that, Simon. I was about to say 6 minutes from now or so. You'd maybe expect to see some of the leaders pit, but Hubert Szymanski from 2nd position. He is in the pits to take his mandatory, promoting Sir Foch up to 2nd position himself. This could be where it starts to get interesting, depending on how Szymanski does getting out ahead of the traffic.
Yeah, well, this is literally right on the halfway point at 50 minutes, so we're probably going to see a lot of the field come in right about now. That they've just split their strategies right down the middle, haven't they? And they're doing 50-50. And Szymanski, Holmes, and Masoon and Renoir have all come in then on this lap. So in the next 2 or 3 laps, we should probably see quite a lot of the grid come in to make their one and only stop. Hopefully there's no rain at the end of this race. It doesn't look like there's going to be, because these conditions have been absolutely perfect throughout the whole session. And so it's a simple refuel, retire, and away you go again. But there is a hell of a lot of traffic coming up, so it does depend where these drivers filter back out and if they have any problems and if it affects their race in any way. Hopefully it doesn't.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Hutchison in the pits as well, as you say. The Racing Spirit team drivers, Bratsos and Amoxopoulos then, very close to one another coming along the Kemmel Straight. This is an interesting position to be in for teammates. One's gone defensive, one's gone round the outside, so we'll have the inside line. Oh, got the move done there. So there we go. I think that may be one teammate realising that the other teammate has very much got the pace. Although using that slipstream as well, Simon, they could easily catapult one another and gain themselves a lot of time. If you're a clever team driver around here, using the slipstream to catapult one another, yeah, you can certainly make back a lot of time with the drivers ahead of you, I would say.
Yeah, of course you can, and I think the longer you can stay out now, the more it may help you come the end of the race. Obviously anything can happen in a pit stop, and you can get caught behind back markers, you can get caught in battles that you shouldn't be involved in, so the longer you go now may pay dividends come the end of the race.
Yeah, and there we go, paying dividends sooner rather than later potentially, as our race leader Black Goldsaw comes into the pits, followed by the man that was in second, Samir Foch, as well as AJ to the P. So they have all seen the call. Szymanski came into the pits and they have all followed. So Jordan Sones will be promoted to race leader. He has stayed out. He comes along the Kemmel Straight for the 23rd time, 40 minutes left to go of the race. He currently leads, given his competitors are in the pits. Lee King McGee, he stayed out as well. We saw him have a spin. He'll be looking to compose himself and get some solid laps under his belt. So he has been promoted to second. Oscar Saristo's come into the pits in the Nissan Amoxopoulos then. Racing Spirit team. No time for a pit stop on this lap. They are staying out. So is Bratsos. Johnny Marsh does the same. Andrew Purcell. He is coming around into the last chicane. Will he drive into the pits? Nope. He is staying out. Hubert Szymanski in the Ferrari. He's staying out as well. Pete Jeffrey then. Oh, comes to Blanchimont. All kinds of wild. Black Gold Salt. There we go. Enough small talk. Black Gold Salt is out the pits.
Well, I tell you what, I don't think Black Goldsaw has got as much of an advantage as he did have. He's already negotiated the pits. Szymanski's come through the source now. He's coming down the pit straight now, so he has kept that lead, obviously. But I think Szymanski's been able to eat into that ever so slightly. Not that it's going to affect the outcome of this race, because Goldsaw's just going to put the hammer down once again, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is. He really is. Here's Sir Foch then coming out the pits. AJ to the P is coming out the pits as well. That was Sir Foch clearing the exit, and there's AJ to the P going to do the same. Oscar Saristo still in the pits then. He is stationary. Lance Taylor's coming to the pits as well. 13th position.
How good of an outlap can Alex Phillips have from here? Because he wasn't too far behind Jordan Soanes, who's now just peeled into the pits to make his one and only stop. So did he stay out too long? Did he lose too much time on that older rubber? We'll see if Alex Phillips has been able to make that move up into 4th place and take that position away from Soanes. On the very next lap we'll be able to find out, I'm sure.
Yeah, well certainly. Oh, Black Gold Saw then. Bit of a blue flag situation there. Still comfortably in the lead. That is Purcell that's just behind them.
That looked too close for comfort.
That actually kind of did, didn't it? That's why I turned the camera off, just in case. But yeah, Goldsaw is definitely off around 16 seconds then. It looks like the gap. Just waiting on that to confirm at the moment. Soanes and McGee then. Is that Soanes on his way out? Wow, he's still on his way into the pits. Wow, that pit lane is an absolute nightmare. Yeah, King and McGee still making his way in. Amoxopoulos goes past, Bratsos goes past, and here comes Goldsaw. Jordan Soanes still stationary. Johnny Marsh comes into the pits. Szymanski has taken his pits. Sir Foch, of course, has taken his pits, but it's AJ to the P that we're going to watch. Oh, and I tell you what, this is going to be very close between him and Soanes. He is coming around into the source. Soanes is still very, very, very stationary indeed. Oh, and he's just dropped. Ah, where's he gone? What position is Jordan Soanes? 4th, there he is. Yep, so he's up the hill and running. Where's AJ? Oh, no, so he is a bit back. He does look like he's closed it a bit. He's definitely closed that gap a bit. Oh,
Foch has just been able to get through there. So Foch has actually lost time then. Foch has only just gone past
Jordan, yeah, he has, yeah. But then you got to remember Jordan's on outlap tyres. I mean, he has just gone through, but on outlap tyres, this lap is going to be quite slow for him. AJ really, really does need to get the move done sooner rather than later. That's Pete Jeffrey just ahead of him, who is in 8th by virtue of not taking his pit stop. Let's AJ to the P through nice and comfortably, realising that this race isn't with AJ given he's not taking his pit. And AJ then.
Well, I tell you what, the race for this podium is very much on. Foch, Soanes and Phillips. 2 Astons with a Audi sandwich between those drivers. And there's really not much time to separate those whatsoever. That's going to be very interesting in the next 45 minutes.
Yeah, it is position 1 and 2. Certainly look like they have been well and truly decided, but it is Soanes, Foch and AJ to the P. You look like they're going to battle it out for the final podium position. Of course, we've got drivers still to take their pit stop. Purcell, Jeffrey, Bratsos and Amoxopoulos, the two Racing Spirit team drivers, Amoxopoulos and Bratsos, both coming into the pits now. They will be very quickly overtaken by the drivers we are now keeping a keen eye on. There, of course, Black Soul Goldsaw flying through. He's now going to come and find himself in a lot of traffic as well. That's one of the things about laps this length. It's always perceived that there isn't a lot of back marker traffic because there isn't a lot of people racing above 45 minutes. But as soon as you get above the 45-minute mark, you certainly see a lot of traffic. Unlike Brands Hatch, 1 minute 26 a lap, I believe, 1 minute 24. You get back marker traffic very, very, very quickly indeed. But now that we've hit the back markers, they are certainly going to get involved. Alistair Clun still in the pits, 26, with Andy King and McGee in 25th. Stefan Van Halen, Andrea Coppola still to take their pit stops in 22nd and 24th, so Omar Moe will be promoted up. Ian Egan and Lance Taylor both taking their pits, so has Luca Ziga, Johnny Marsh, Michael Hutchison, Oscar Saristo, Renoir, Kingy McGee, Sakness, Massoum have all taken their pits. Pete Jeffrey is in as well, so it's just Huckabee Brown, new driver to the championship, to take his position in the pit stop and get that out the way. 42 minutes left. Ryan Renoir in the Porsche, chasing down, or trying to at least, Lee Kingy McGee in the Aston Martin. Of course, Kingy was up in 5th when a driver error in La Source saw him spin the car, and he's now back down in 10th. Should overtake Huckabee when he comes out of the pits to see him gain back another position. But Ryan Renoir in the Porsche will certainly be looking to alleviate him of that position as soon as he possibly can. Purcell, Jeffrey, Taylor back in the pits, and Andrea Coppolis still to take his pit. It's been a cracker so far, Simon. Still got 41 minutes left to go, but Black Goldsaw and Szymanski, just absolute different level to the rest of the field this evening so far.
Yeah, obviously everybody knows by now who Goldsaw is and what he's about. Szymanski is certainly slowly making a name for himself around the ACC circuits as one of the fastest drivers out there. I know he's in Split 1, the top splits of quite a few other racing communities, which I won't mention. But yeah, he's sitting pretty in second place right now. Foch is also, he's a driver, he's obviously one of the biggest ACC streamers out there right now, but he's also getting to be one of the very fastest of drivers, also there in 3rd place, because Soane's in 4th and Phillips in 5th, and no slouches either. So yeah, this top 5 are certainly something to behold, as Soane's then certainly is going to get a track limit warning for that one going through Eau Rouge.
Oh, I missed that there. Sorry, we jumped on board with 24th
That's alright, that's alright. No, he completely just went straight through that without thinking there was a corner there whatsoever.
Yeah, that's not going to go down well with the stewards. We've already seen drive-through penalties so far in the race early doors. I would unfortunately expect to see more with 39 minutes left to go, the way these drivers battle it hard, and just how tricky Eau Rouge then Radion are. It's so easy to get that kink wrong. You think you've got the perfect line to take it flat out, and the next thing you're in the wall doing a 360, eating yourself a currant bun someplace off in a Belgian cafe, no place near the racetrack. It's very, very, very easy to make a mistake up that particular part of the track. But it is Jeffrey and Andrea Coppolis that we're on board with at the moment, as we see an AKM driver in the pit there. That'll be Huckabee Brown then, last. Oh no, he's not the last. He is the last of the AKM driver, sorry, to take his pit stop. Ooh, this is going to be spicy. Andrea Coppolis then versus Pete Jeffrey. And the time. No, it's not Pete Jeffrey. Is that a blue flag? What is going on? Oh, it's Philip. No, it's not Philip Beeston. Right, that's a blue flag. I can't tell who that is. Oh, whatever it is, there's been contact.
Ouch.
Yes, that is a sore one going into Lecum. And yeah, that'll be the end of any top 10 hopes for any of those drivers That is Stefan Van Hal then. He is being lapped at the moment by Hubert Szymanski, who, as Simon mentioned, making quite a name for himself in ACC circles with the pace he is showing. 12 seconds he is behind Black Goldsaw, but 12 seconds ahead of Samir Foch. And as Simon said, there's quite a few of us know that name, and he is no slouch, especially in that Aston Martin. So the strength of the field here absolutely on display, with Jordan Soane's the man in the Audi currently running in 4th, and he's got Alex Phillips, AJ to the P, trying desperately to close that gap. 3 seconds is now the gap, Simon. So AJ, he's got the bit between his teeth now.
I tell you what, there's nothing to separate these two, because Soames and Phillips has done exactly pretty much identical lap times that last time out, with a 2:18.405 and a 2:18.480. So Foch was actually the fastest man on track then. He's just done a 2:17.8, so he is absolutely flying in the Aston Martin in 30s. Almost a whole second up on Szymanski on that last lap. As there's been some contact again, is there? I believe that was just Goldsaw going through on Ian Egan. So Goldsaw has to negotiate some back markers now, as he's making his way through 17th place.
Yeah, but this is a battle for 17th place. It's Purcell for Team Fitted UK and Ian Egan for Team SOP Motorsport. 17th and 18th respectively. Ian, the man currently in 17th. It's the Aston Martin of Purcell that's looking to take that away from him. Both of them just been overtaken, or sorry, lapped by the leader Black Goldsaw. But the battle still continues between the two of them. It looks like Ian has got an absolutely fantastic run out of the last chicane, and he has got himself just enough of a gap to not have to worry about.
I think Szymanski's listening to me, because he's just put in a 2:17.7 to go the fastest man on circuit right now.
Wow, that is just ridiculous.
I'm not sure if there's something wrong with Goldsaw in this second half of the race, because I've just been watching his lap times, and he's done a 2:22 point something, a 2:19 point something, a 2:20 point something, and he's consistently like 2 or 3 seconds a lap slower than these guys behind him, and that gap has come down to less than 10 seconds to Szymanski now. So I'm not sure what's going on with that one.
Yeah, that is a strange one. That is a fairly rapid loss of pace there. As you say, he does still have the fastest lap, 17.4, but he's certainly not putting them in this stint of the race. Szymanski had stretched his gap to Sir Foch to 13 seconds, and he's closed the gap to Black Goldsaw to 10 seconds. Stefan Van Hal then in the Honda coming into the pits, down at the bottom of the time board. 20-30 is after being involved in that early incident on Radion.
Yeah, the Honda drivers of Sabo and Van Hal were running really strongly. I was expecting both of them to try and make it into the top 10, but they had that coming together. And unfortunately now occupy the rear of the field, as have many before them. Samsu was dropped out of the race as well, and he was running right at the front of the grid as well. So 25 or 24 runners and riders left in this race as clinches. He hasn't even bothered serving his driver. He's just parked up in the pits and said, I'm going for a beer instead.
Yes, he's going to finish out the race in the pits. Damage as well, I think he had in a drive-through. Yeah, that's absolutely going to decimate your finishing position here. Szymanski then coming up to a back marker. 11 seconds now the gap. So last lap there to go. Black Goldsaw getting himself back on track with the 2 minutes 18. Off Szymanski last lap, 2 minutes 7, oh no, 2:18.5, so a 10th quicker. Still a 10th quicker than Black Goldsaw on that last lap. Samir Foch, oh no, he's just going to come across the line now. Oh, and I tell you what, he was the quickest man on the track, 2:18.2, so this is quite a battle. 33 minutes still to go, Simon. Given how incredibly close these drivers are, this little game of cat and mouse does seem like it's going to be played out at the 10 seconds safe arm's length distance. All three drivers, lap for lap in the 217s, 218s, but unless one of them makes a mistake, it's going to be very, very, very difficult for Foch or Szymanski to improve their position here, you would feel.
Yeah, and that goes for the rest of the field, actually, because they're pretty spread out now. They seem to have settled down into a rhythm, and they all seem to be comfortable in their positions right now. Phillips is in 5th, Holm is there in 6th. He's got a big gap to Masoon, who's incredibly come back out in 7th, even though we had all that damage. Let's check on the front of that Ferrari. Did he even bother fixing it?
Yeah, he got it repaired.
So there we go. He was running down in 8th place, so he's managed to get it up into 7th place even after fixing all that damage. Sackness has moved up to 8th as well, and King McGee is the one who's missed out.
Jimmy Holm.
Why is Jimmy Holm going so slow then? That's,
yeah, he's just pulled up through Lacombe. Oh, no, he's not. No, he's not. That's a back marker getting out of the way.
I think that was Mo, down in 22nd.
Yes, it was. I thought he was racing Jimmy Holm now because it's a McLaren the same colour. Ah, that's frustrating. I thought that was an actual race between them two there. But no, so Masoom, yeah, he has got that damage repaired. Yeah, as you say, coming back out in 7th, that is not too shabby a showing considering how much damage he was carrying and how much pace, because he really was losing time to the drivers around him early doors.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what's happened to King McGee. He's down, the number 9 is down into 9th. He's really lost out in this one. He was looking good for a top 5 finish, and he's fallen back behind Sackness and Masoon, sorry. And he's got Renoir not too far behind then. The Porsche man into the top 10. The Porsche drivers haven't had the best of runs here at Spa, and Saristo is some 16 seconds adrift of that top 10 finish, with a whole gaggle of Astons then, of Hutchinson, Amazocapoulos. I can't even say that. Marsh and Brastos there, completing the top 15. Thank you for being one to being able to pronounce these surnames.
Yeah, we've got to have at least one person to get there. Amoxapoulos. There you go. See, you got there. It's easy when you know how. As you say, 24 drivers left, Andy King and McGee. Sorry, 25 drivers left. Arthur Clinch, of course, is still here, as any good team does, seeing out the end of the race. He's in the pits in 25th, and it's Andy King McGee in 24th. Stefan Van Halen, 23rd. Mo in 22nd with Bistos in... No, he's not. It's Chris Amoxapoulos. No, it's not. It's Andrea Kopoulos. Oh, he's just jumped into the pits. Oh, he's in the pits, sorry, taking his mandatory pit stop, so he's going to drop down. So everything I just said is completely fake news, because they're all going to overtake Chris in the pits. Huckabee Brown is back out ahead of him, though. He is in 20th with Pete Jeffrey in 19th, battling hard then, but Andrew Purcell, this battle then for 18th and 19th. The overtake there just getting done. He was battling with Ian Egan not so long ago for 17th, but it's now a battle for 18th and 19th between these two drivers. And it is the fitted UK driver of Andrew Purcell that is on top at the moment. Ian Egan's in 17th with Lucas Ziga in 16th. George Bratsos is in 15th. Johnny Marsh is in 14th with Dimitris Amoxapoulos in 13th. Then Michael Hutchison is in 12th. Oscar Saristo then, he is in 11th at the moment with Ryan Renoir in 10th. And Lee Kingy McGee down in 9th. Giannis Sackness then making his debut here this evening. He is in 8th with Musa Masoom. He is running in 7th after repairing his damaged Ferrari, and he's trying to catch back up to Jimmy Holm in 6th. Then it is the top 5. AJ to the P is the man currently in 5th position, and he is 1.6 seconds just off the rear spoiler of Jordan Sones in 4th. Then it's the top 3, Samir Foch, Hubert Szymanski and Black Alien Pace Goldsaw, lapping 30 laps in, comfortably in the lead, and looking like he is getting both, or at least one hand firmly on that limited edition winner's jersey that will be awarded to the winner of the series.
Just to mention Jordan Sones, actually, John, He made a mistake that last lap. He lost 3 seconds to Phillips on that one lap alone.
Oof.
Yeah, so 221.4 for Soames and a 218.9 for Alex. So the gap is 1.5 seconds at the minute. It was 4.5 seconds. So Jordan has to be careful then, because Phillips very rarely makes a mistake, and Jordan just needs to keep hold of that. Audi's got 28 minutes left to run. And if he doesn't compose himself quickly, you know Alex is going to be on his case and pressuring him for that 4th place spot. Obviously, like we said, Alex isn't going to be here next week, so he's going to want to have a fantastic end to this race to try and keep himself in contention for the top 3. He sits 2nd in the standings right now overall, so a good strong showing here will hopefully give him some breathing space between the drivers and himself in the overall championship.
Yeah, we'll certainly be hoping to do so. Simon, bear with me 2 seconds. I'm just going to quickly do something. If you wouldn't mind, you already mentioned it earlier, just for anybody that wasn't here, July the 4th, it is a Sunday. Give us a quick talk through of what is going to be happening then, my friend.
No problem, you crack on, John, that's fine. Yes, so ladies and gentlemen, July the 4th. That is our 6-hour endurance race of Imola, and that is to celebrate our 1-year anniversary here at SOP Motorsports. We'll be going exactly 1 whole year on June the 13th to be precise, but we've slotted in our endurance race for Sunday, July the 4th. We put a poll out on Twitter. Over almost 200 of you voted, and there was just 0.5% between Kyalami and Imola, with Imola coming out victorious in that one. So that sign-up process will be posted out in the next couple of days for the masses to get themselves on the grid. We will have 45 teams, 135 drivers taken to the grid around Imola for 6 hours of racing. The event will start at 11 AM Sunday morning for 30 minutes of practice, followed by 30 minutes of qualifying, and then straight into the 6-hour race. You can sign up with teams of 2 or 3 drivers for the event, and it's free to enter, so why not get involved with the celebrations here at SOP Motorsport. We welcome all old and new drivers. We have sent a few special invitations out to those that have been with us from the very beginning. And then hopefully we see some new faces on the grid as well. So we do look forward to that one coming just in a month's time. So yeah, that's going to be fantastic to be a part of that one. And hopefully we can bring you more endurance races and possibly an endurance season to SOP Motorsports sometime in the future. We just need to look out for that one. Obviously we've always got things in the pipeline, and that's probably going to be the next step for us, is to move on from the sprint style races to the endurance style races, because everybody loves to get involved with endurance races, don't they?
Yes, indeed. Endurance racing is definitely on the rise, especially with driver swaps and things. Team events, very, very popular, and SOP bringing you an absolute cracker to open their Team Endurance Series account. Militant's in the chat saying a whole year he still remembers the first ever race at Brands Hatch. I'm surprised it wasn't at Paul Ricard, but thankfully it was at Brands Hatch. So
yeah, our very first test race at Brands Hatch for the first 20 drivers ever, and I can't even remember if it was even broadcasted or not. But yeah, that was going back almost a whole year now, where we had an introductory race at Brands Hatch for whoever wanted to be involved, and they're still around today. Obviously, that was on PlayStation, and we still hold PlayStation events. Obviously, tonight's with our PC. Obviously, at the minute, we only do one night a week for PC. But we're going to try and even that out at some point, so we have the same amount of PC and PlayStation races being broadcast to the masses, because obviously it's just so much smoother and cleaner on PC, isn't it?
Yeah, it does handle a lot better. The console spectator mode has had improvements, so yeah, we can't really complain too much, but it's not fully fit for purpose. But yeah, on the PC it certainly is a much smoother experience. That is getting quite cosy, so we're going to keep an eye on that. There is the Bentley Black Gold Saw, though, who is leading this race and this particular championship. Of course, the IMB sponsored SOP GT Challenge Sprint Series. I had to think about that one for a second. You do throw these mouthfuls at me. There we go. There's somebody firing a notification.
I don't know what type of mouthfuls you're getting, John.
Hey! Dun, 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 boom. He's here all week. Tip your waitress. Thanks very much.
For one night only.
Yeah, thankfully. We had the ding-a-ling in the chat there. Who was that? That was Manos86 has followed. Thank you very much for joining in. And Toyn1123, of course, the last follow, we gave him a high as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you want to get involved, my beautiful secretary has already put the Discord link in. Get involved in SOP Motorsport. You can get involved in the race. As I said, we've got the one-year event coming up. We've got lots more stuff coming up. The summer series on PlayStation 4 or 5, whichever console it is you're fortunate enough to own, or in the PC. Ooh, squirrel. Ian Egan's come back into the pits then. He did have to pit early doors for some damage, I think, so I wonder if that's well, no such thing as a splash and dash around here really, but he has had to come back into the pits. Kingy McGee then, Simon, he looks like he has regathered himself. He's in ninth, he's closing up nicely on Sackness, who's making his debut here. He'll definitely be looking for me to put it on the right camera. There we go. Ooh, that's an AKM team member getting off track there. But yeah, Lee Kingy McGee, he is absolutely all over the back of Sackness here in the Mercedes. The Aston definitely been proven to be a fairly strong car round here. Kingy McGee could be getting himself back up to 8th at this rate.
Yeah, it's now just a recovery drive from King McGee, to be honest, because he was challenging with that top 5 position. He made that mistake. He seemed to have lost a bit of ground in the pit stops as well, so I'm not sure where it's really gone wrong for him. But the British GT Spa winner is now in 9th place, looking to challenge Sackness for 8th, and he looks like he's going to get the slipstream down Camel Straight they go. And will he get the move done up the inside or around the outside? He's going for the inside line then, so Sackness is telling him where to go, and he's going to try and hang it around the outside. He quite hasn't got the brake in, as the Mercedes just has to tuck in behind, and that is job done for King McGee.
Yes, indeed. Straight back up to 8th place then for Kingy. As Simon said, after challenging for a top 5 position, this is a recovery drive, and every position will count in the long run. Of course, he won't be aware of what we know, which is AJ to the P won't be in next week's race, which is going to shake up considering he is currently the man in 2nd position. He is currently in 5th, closing in on Johnson's 2.4 seconds is now the gap, but of course it is that old adage, it's one thing to catch up in motorsport, it's another thing entirely to get the overtake done. Certainly won't be easy against the Audi Assones, but AJ to the P is certainly proving he is more than up to the challenge of closing that gap. We did expect him to run quite long into the race. Everyone pitted, I say as well, sir, everyone pitted roughly around about the same time, so not a lot of variation in the pit strategy here. Everyone just going for the straight 50-50 split. Perhaps not as worried about the rain as we thought, but down to 19-degree track temperature, so they definitely would have had to take that into account when they were pitting. But yeah, everyone pitting roughly in the middle of the race. I'm going to be honest, I'm quite surprised by that. I expected at least a quarter of the field, say, to run a lot longer.
Yeah, and I tell you what, there's going to be a battle on our hands with this race victory. Goldsaw is really struggling now. I'm not sure what's going on with him, but Szymanski is visibly right on his tail now. Szymanski took a whole second out of him on the last lap, but it looks to be so much more this lap, even before the timing deltas have updated. There's literally just one corner separating these two drivers now. Goldsaw is stuck behind the back marker, and Szymanski is right on his tail. We'll wait for the time deltas to update to see what that gap truly is. I think it's Zigo who's just in front.
That is, yeah.
who is now running in 16th place. So yeah, Ziga's going to be getting those blue flags now, and he's going to be looking to get out of the way. So Black Goldsaw can motor on then, because Szymanski is
5.7.
quickly closing.
Yeah, he is. He's half the gap. 5.7 seconds is now the gap. Oscar Zaristo's come back into the pit, Simon. That's 2 SOP drivers have had to come back into the pits in the very late stages of the race. Both of them have cleared their mandatory pit stop. Ian Egan is back out on the track and running. We'll get a look at these lap times then. Black Goldsaw, is that really a 2 minute 19.2? Surely. Oh yeah, so they do count the lap time as ending previously. So yeah, 1.2 seconds Hubert was quicker that lap. So yeah, he is definitely going 5.1 seconds now the gap, Simon. If he keeps this up,
Goldsaw is just he's just miscalculated his fuel or something, and he's trying to fuel save to get to the end of the race. It's obviously not going to be a tyre issue, because 50 minutes on a set of tyres, or even, well, if he would have not had a successful mandatory pit stop if he didn't change tyres, so he's obviously done that. And 50 minutes on one set of tyres is nothing really. He should be able to cope with that quite easily. So maybe he's just got to go into fuel saver mode. Maybe he's just miscalculated that one.
yeah, there is a possibility. I don't know the dashboard of the Bentley, but I'm sure Bentley drivers can look at that and tell us that I think he's in fuel map 3. So I think that's what it is. I think you're right, Simon. I think he's in fuel map 3. 4.5 seconds. I was going to say, just as you were saying that, if he keeps this up, he's going to be, Szymanski is going to be in Goldsaw's back pocket in less than 2 laps time. 4.5 seconds is now the gap. So if it keeps up like this, absolutely, definitely, it's going to be battle on for the top spot. And it's not like Szymanski has found a lot more pace, because it's still 13.9 seconds is the gap back to Sir Foch, which is roughly what the gap was. So this is all about Goldsaw losing pace. Szymanski, yeah, is definitely putting in the laps at the moment, but certainly Goldsaw losing pace hand over fist at the moment. And this is going to be game on as we see Szymanski then coming up to Lucas Ziga. Is of course 15th position at the moment, gets himself right out of the way at the chicane masterfully. He's coming at the pits as well. Simon, there's been a lot of drivers I think miscalculated their fuel. That is the 4th driver, because Andy King and McGee's come in, Saristo came back in the pits after Ian Egan. That's now Lucas Ziga coming into the pits as well. They've all cleared their mandatory pit stop. This has surely got to be a fuel issue.
Yeah, really weird that this is happening with 15 minutes to go. 5 drives are coming in the space of 1 lap. I'm really not sure what's happening today. Really baffled by that one.
Yeah,
but the gap out in front is only 4 seconds. 15 minutes to go. I'm riding on board with Szymanski. You can see Goldsaw in his sights now. You can see that rear bumper of that big Bentley. Not too far in front of him, 3.7 seconds as they come past Camel Straight. And yeah, this is going to be heating up at the end of the race.
Yeah, it really is. It really, really, really is. So fascinating end to this race then. 14 minutes left to go. It wasn't so long ago I was talking about how the top 3 were pretty much decided unless one of them made some kind of massive mistake, and it looks like the mistake has been made in fuel calculation. It's the only plausible explanation that fits the current scenario. Unless Goldsaw is just taking it easy because of the drop in temperature and he's planning on managing the gap when Szymanski catches him. And I'm saying when Szymanski catches him because it is a case of when rather than if, with the way these lap times are going. The gap now definitely, well, it's got to be within 3 seconds. And I'll tell you what, if Black Goldsaw is having to manage his fuel. Oh, it's still at 3.7 then. Oh, so suddenly, after losing about half a second a sector, suddenly the gap stays the same.
Every small town has a secret. Ours has a game.
Welcome to panic!
You don't need panic to go to college.
Yeah, I do.
Just be careful. You gotta know what to be afraid of, when to be afraid of it, and you gotta know the difference.
I ain't got no place to go.
Must be a work picnic. He looks hangry.
They'll do anything to get their fill of chocolate. Crave.
Is Szymanski just managing the gap? Still looks to me. EBS 3. Oh, this is going to be an interesting one. What is going on? Is Goldsaw just making this one interesting, Simon? Is he just managing his fuel?
Oh, drive through for
Massoum. Oof.
Another one bites the dust.
Indeed, although given it was a 100-minute race, I've only seen what 3 drive-throughs for track limits. That's actually not too shabby as shown from the driver so far.
No, not at all. But Massoum, who was having a good recovery drive after hitting the wall and picking up that damage, has now just undone all that good work, and he's going to drop right back. He might still be lucky to make it into the top 15, but that's going to be pushing it. So.
Oof, 7/10. Szymanski is
3
just
seconds.
Yeah, Szymanski 7/10, so it stayed at 3.7 for 2 sectors. There is.
I tell you where another battle's going to develop as well is between Soanes and Phillips. Less than 2 seconds separates these drivers, so Phillips has been able to close that gap up on Soanes in the last couple of laps. It's going to be very interesting to see how this one unfolds. It was 0.3 of a second from Phillips, who's clawed that gap back to Jordan on that last lap. So 12 minutes to go. Position still to be decided.
Another 7/10. This is what Szymanski has taken. Wow, that's 1.4 seconds in the last 2 sectors. This is absolutely battle on between the 2 SOP drivers. Baggy's in the chat. Good evening, Baggy. How we doing? An interesting finish, to say the least. 1.8 seconds. 1.8 seconds is the gap, Simon. Simon, at Spa, there's 1.8 seconds separated to them. An hour and 40 minutes. They've been going, what, an hour and 29 minutes now. At Spa, there's only 1.8 seconds separates a Ferrari and a Bentley at the front of the pack. This is what happened, Simon. There was a drivers' meeting at SOP, and all the drivers got together and said, we are sick to the back teeth of winning races and not getting any camera time. So what we're going to do to make sure they see us crossing the line, we are going to battle out to the end, and we thank you for it, drivers. So Szymanski and Goldsaw, now SOP drivers, right on top of one another. Simon is furiously on the CB radio to both drivers, dishing out team orders as we speak. 1.3 seconds is the gap.
No. Let them race. I'm no Christian Horner. These drivers can do what they want.
Oh, and they absolutely will, and we are in for a show. What has gone on with Black Goldsaw? Is it a fuel miscalculation? It's got to be someone. He's definitely not sporting any damage on that Bentley, because if he had any, we'd have spotted it by now. But there we go.
Yeah, no, he does have a tiny bit of damage on the front of that bumper. But I haven't seen him lose control of that car or come into contact with anybody. So I'm not sure where he's picked that one up from, actually, because there was no yellow flags for him. He hasn't really, unless it was a back marker that's caused that issue where we didn't pick it up on the broadcast. I haven't seen that one.
Okay. So yes, there may have been slight contact with a back marker. Same thing happened to me, and I was annoyed, and I go and do the same thing. I hope it didn't stop you winning. I'm sorry, that was terrible on my part. It's a message which has been posted to Black Goldsaw from another one of the drivers in the Discord group. So it does look like your guesstimation was correct, Simon. It looks like Black Goldsaw may well have picked up a bit of damage from a contact with under blue flags, which would be unfortunate. We certainly hope not, but it has. Unfortunately for Black Gold Sock, giving us a grandstand finish here to round 4 at Spa. And let's face it, a course like this, you would expect nothing less, and even the midfield drivers are getting themselves involved. Massoum then got himself some damage, stayed out long, got himself a drive-through penalty as well. He's come back out from his drive-through penalty, and he's found himself with Michael Hutchison and Dimitris Amoxopoulos all over the back of him. And it's just a pity. Oh, can't we watch that race? Yeah, we're going to watch that because there's a bit of a gap. Simon, do you want to watch Szymanski and see if he gets close? And I'm going to keep an eye on Hutchison, Massoum and Amoxopoulos, because they're having a cracking little battle here in the middle of the field. We're on board them with Hutchison all over the back then of Massoum, who was showing great promise early doors. But at one point, got up to third. Sorry, yeah, Simon.
I think this is a done deal for Szymanski. He's going to get the job done, no doubt about it. Obviously, Goldsaw now has been confirmed. He's got that aero damage on that Bentley, so he's losing out on a massive chunk of time.
Done.
And Szymanski does breeze straight past then, down the Camel Straight. Easy as you like, into the lead of the race with 7 minutes to go. Hubert Szymanski takes the lead from Black Goldsaw. It didn't look like anybody else was going to win this one. He had a 15-second gap. Obviously, we now know that there was a contact between Goldsaw and a back marker. So, unfortunately, Goldsaw has that damage. Surprisingly, he's still able to lap so fast. And keep. Right, he's going to be taking away second place then from this race. Szymanski is taking hold of this one, taking the bull by the horns, and he's away and gone in his Ferrari, the Prancing Horse. So Goldsaw is going to have to settle for second. So Foch is there, still 15 seconds adrift in third place. So that's the top three, and then you've got a big old battle going on for fourth place between Stones and Phillips. Still 1.5 seconds separate those two, as the Audi driver and the Aston Martin driver are doing battle for that fourth place position with 6 minutes to go then. So a few more laps to go yet to decide the outcome of this race, but you'd like to think that Szymanski has this one in the bag now with Goldsaw and Foch rounding out the top three.
Yes, indeed, and we're still on board them with Michael Hutchison. He has got himself into the middle of a Massoum Amoxopoulos sandwich. The Ferrari leading the way of these two Aston Martin drivers 40 laps into this race. As Simon said, about 3 or 4 laps still to go, so positions definitely not being excited. Not excited, I'm excited, definitely not being decided. I'm
surprised Massoum actually came out in 10th, John. I was expecting him to come down a lot
much further down,
yeah, much further down the field, but obviously they're so spread out now that he was able to come in, collect himself. Obviously, he has those Aston Martins right on his tail, but 10th place at the minute.
Yeah, he does, and he looks like he's got himself a little bit of breathing space there. And speaking of breathing space, wow, he's still going to have breathing space at the top of the championship, that is for sure. Black Goldsaw, though, he can only watch on as Hubert Szymanski cracks on into the lead now. 1.1 seconds is the gap there. That is increasing. Decreasing. Oh!
Wow, wow, wow. I did say Jordan looked to be getting very close to those track limits a few laps ago, and everything has just come undone for this this man with 5 minutes to go over a 100-minute race.
Yeah,
penalty for abusing track limits. Wow.
Yeah, wow. That is a Meatloaf.
And Van Gaal then. Van Gaal down in 21st has picked up a drive route as well.
Jeez. Oh, and that is through Stavolo.
They're like buses, John. You don't see one for ages and then they all come along at once, eh?
Yeah, they really do.
Well, not in the case of the pandemic, because they don't come along at all right now.
No, they definitely don't. Yeah, I did say I expected to see a lot more track limit penalties given the nature of this course. It's certainly not a reflection on the driver's ability or talent or lack of. It is certainly a reflection on just how difficult this course is. But that is an absolute heartbreaker then for Jordan Sones. All that work hanging on to 4th position, and he's going to have to take a drive-through penalty before the end of the race, which is going to see him lose. Oof.
Well, if Masoon had to take a drive-through and he's in
Came out
10th
10.
place, yeah, Soames is still going to come out in that top 10 at least. So all is not lost. All is not lost.
No, it's certainly not a loss. He could potentially still get into the top 10. I would say 13th, perhaps. Oh, he doesn't take the penalty, so... Oh, is this a tactic to slow up AJ a bit? Make him defend, make him put the overtake in. Long term, it wouldn't really be the case. Probably just trying to offset the whole coming in through the pits and then dealing with the outlap tyres again. Let's face it, you don't want too many outlap laps from here. But yeah, Jordan Sones then makes a mistake. We were saying, Simon, or you did say, you did point it very clear, if he makes the slightest mistake, AJ would pounce, and it looks like the mistake hasn't been one that's taken him off track via the barriers, but it's going to be one that takes him off track via the pits. Just under 3 minutes to go, and that is, Simon, as you say, it's almost as bad as being disconnected with 5 minutes left to go from one of these races. To get a drive-through after seeing yourself battling for the podium, dropping down to 4th and then hanging on in there for 4th against some very strong competition, a drive-through this late, that is just absolute kicking there.
Yeah, it is. It is. Not much to say, really. We've been robbed of a battle over that 4th place position because Soames is obviously, well, he's obviously feeling the pressure from Phillips because he felt like he had to push so hard that he's gone over his track limit warnings. And that's what happens when you put pressure on a driver. They just make those little mistakes. And either way, Phillips is saying, thank you very much. I will take that 4th place from you before my honeymoon.
Yes, indeed, yeah. You'll certainly be happy with that. Missing next week's race, as you say, for the honeymoon. He was looking to get as many points as he can. And yeah, 4th place behind Szymanski, Goldsaw and Foch. That is not bad place to start collecting your points from this race. So it will be a stellar haul. It's going to be interesting to see the top of the championship after this. Of course, Szymanski hasn't actually been on the podium yet, but does find himself. Oh, there we go. Jordan Sones then coming into the pit. Sorry, completely lost my train of thought there. Yeah, as I was saying, Hubert Szymanski hasn't actually been on the podium yet, but does find himself 3rd in the championship anyway. Just goes to show you how strong a drive he's had. So to see him finally get on the podium 4 races in and for it to be the top spot, well, it seems almost like justice has been served. Not that there's anything unjust about Black Goldsaw's championship domination. 3 wins out of 3 races so far, but round number 4, and some aerodynamic damage from a racing incident which sees Black Goldsaw relegated, if you will, to 2nd position. Now 3 seconds behind Szymanski. Not something we're used to seeing, but that is the case at the moment, and the last man on the podium will be Sir Foch in the Aston Martin. I believe he's been driving Spa all day, and it certainly seems to have worked in his favour here. 13 seconds behind the top 2, but still looking very quick nonetheless in 3rd place. And it is the honeymoon man himself. He was touted as one to watch before the race by our very own Simon, and that has worked out fantastically well. 4th position for AJ at the moment. Then Jimmy Holm making his reserve appearance. 5th position, great finish for him, and Kingy McGee's made it back up to 6th then, with all the coming together, to and fro and drive-through penalties. He's kept it together, and he's in 6th with Sakinas in 7th. Ryan Renoir in 8th. Jordan Soanes then comes back out 9th. Simon, in fact, ahead of Masoom, I believe.
Yeah, I was expecting that anyway, because Masoon had his own drive-through to deal with.
Oh, the leader's just finished the race. Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm so sacked. I'm the world's worst broadcaster. It really is getting out of hand. After they put on that show at the end, but it's Szymanski then who wins the race. Black Goldsaw straight back to the pits in 2nd. Samir Fosh, as we mentioned, he's taken 3rd place. So congratulations to the podium finishers, and of course congratulations to AJ to the P. Congratulations on the upcoming nuptials, and congratulations on taking 4th place here this evening. And of course Jimmy Holm as well, making his debut from the reserve pool in the McLaren, takes home 5th position ahead of 6th place Lee Kingy McGee, who of course won here in the last SOP PC outing. He is going to take 6th, and then there's another man making his debut. It's Giannis Saknes. He is going to finish lucky number 7. So great drive from him. And there's Ryan 360 Renoir. Of course, only just been given that nickname by me this evening. It probably won't stick, but I thought it was quite good at the time. He is in 8th, and Jordan Soanes, heartbreak story of the race, sure, well, apart from Ian Egan and Sam Sue, of course. He's going to finish in 9th with Musa Masoom coming home in 10th place. So that was the top 10. Outside of the top 10 then, it is Michael Hutchison with Demetrius Amoxopoulos and Johnny Marsh in 11th, 12th and 13th. George Bratsos in 14th with Pete Jeffrey, Andrew Purcell and Oscar Soristo in 15th, 16th and 17th. Lucas Iga in 18th place with Ian Egan in 19th, and Huckabee Brown, another driver from the reserve pool, coming home in 20th position. Then it was Stefan Van Hal in 21st with Omar Moe finishing in 20th. And after that, Andy Kingy McGee finishing in 23rd with Alistair Clinch finishing the race in the pits in 24th position. But there we go, Simon. Must be a great feeling there. Team manager and, yeah, all-round team broadcaster. And there we go, SOP 1 and 2 on the podium. Not a bad race from the SOP boys.
No, and his redemption day for Szymanski, to be honest, because he could have won that race in the British GT Championships in the last series, but obviously he had that tangled together with his teammate last time around. Obviously, unfortunate for Goldsaw to have that instant mid-race and lose so much speed out there on track. Obviously, he had dominated the first phase and he was still 15 seconds ahead after the pit stops, and then he just got reeled in after that incident. So, yeah, unbelievably, that's Szymanski's first win in this championship. He took 4 wins in the previous series, and obviously he is the defending champion. And that's his first win at round number 4, so that's going to propel him right back up into the championship standings.
Yeah, it really is. That was, yeah, it's going to make the championship absolutely fantastic, it has to be said. Let me just do that, because I've just seen what was on the screen there. Never mind. Let's just change that was, of course. Is AJ staying on? I was just looking to do a raid there. Sorry, squirrel, completely distracted there by everything that was going on around me. But yes, as I was saying, Szymanski was going to make it interesting at the top of the championship. AJ to be finishing in 4th place, can't make it next week. And Szymanski, as Simon said, very strong, defending champion, won 4 races last time out, and it's taken 4 races in for him to get his first win here. Goldsaw taking 2nd, and Sir Fosh rounding out the podium in 3rd. 23 drivers finishing the race. Floppy Fox in the chat. Good race, thanks for the commentary, guys. Great job. See you all. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Love to hear it. Let's just get that back up. And wait a minute. That one back up. That was round 4 then. Done, dusted, and in the bag. Next week, Laguna Seca, the roller coaster that is Laguna Seca. expect some antics there. Then it's Silverstone after that, and it's Bathurst the week after that. A couple of people not too happy with some of the incidents in the race, so there's going to be some interesting times for the stewards ahead, Simon. Don't envy that job at all. We're back. What have we got on Saturday, Simon?
Saturday we have a new format. It's going to be run obviously on the PlayStation Saturday, but we're going for a sprint style format. So it's going to be 3 20-minute races back to back to back after the qualifying session to begin the whole event. So that's going to be very interesting indeed, and it gives drivers 3 opportunities to try and make that podium.
So there we go. Saturday night, that will be in some awesome stuff to watch. That will be played out on the PlayStation. We'll be broadcasting that, of course. But that was round 4. That was Spa. Go back and watch it. I'm about to, with a pizza and a hot dog. I tell you that for free. We'll be back, as I say, on Saturday night. Simon giggling away in the background. Love to hear it. Thank you to everyone that took part in the race tonight. Thank you to everyone that said hi in the chat. Thank you to Metis Manos for following 28 29 minutes ago. Apologies for missing you guys. Toyne1123, thank you for following. Ty STP, thank you for the follow as well, along with Dead Channel 519. Coast Kinesi followed as well. So did Jeff14NL. Vargas Sim Racing hosted. Fake followed, and so did Gianna Saknis as well, who just finished so fantastically well in the race. So thank you especially to everyone that joined in as well. And of course, thank you to the boss man of SOP for getting involved in the commentary tonight, Simon.
No, the thank you is always to you, John, for putting on these fantastic broadcasts for us.
Indeed. And he says that word for word, so the check will be, of course, winging its way to him first thing tomorrow morning. But that is all we have time for this evening. I'm about to put some tyre on tarmac myself on ACC. Raven Streamhouse version 2.0 on the PC if you want to jump in. And if not, we'll see you Saturday night for some more PlayStation races. Stay safe, have a good night, see you all later. Goodbye.